Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 670th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I'm the Clown Prince of Podcast Trust now.
I'm the fantastic Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. If you're watching live, we're a little early because man, it's been a little bit. I'm gonna share this link because I'm so unprepared, and then I'm gonna rant in a second. Taylor, just tell people what we got going on right now in the feeds, so I gather my beings.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. I'm popping off right now. We've got Weekly Geeks. Side quests going to be coming around the corner.
What's the
weekly poll? The weekly poll is us whether or not we're going to review Assassin's Creed on the Netflix show or not.
Right.
But yeah, we've got lots of stuff that's going good. We got Dexter reviews with Dexter Resurrection that's popping off right now. And then we had Superman. You can check out the retrospective that we did for that. But we did the movie review last week, and then next week we have Fantastic Four. Biggest episode of the year. Yeah, fantastic. DC comeback. So lots of stuff is just popping off here, and yeah, join the Patreon.
So says this has got to be the most DC discussion in a single week ever. Definitely for us. I feel like the week the Snyder Cut was announced, because there was like the announcement, the fallout, and then just like more stuff about it. That was a big time. I feel like maybe not weekly, but I feel like when they were looking for a new president, we talked about it a lot. But yeah, there's just lots of news pouring out. But yeah, we're a little early because man, what a fucking night it's been. People know I gotta wait for like an after 9 or bread and butter or whatnot. I've been working on putting a pool in the backyard, and the yard. If you listen to originals, that was a whole thing. This pool's a whole thing. I don't recommend it. What I recommend is you save your money, pay someone to set it up, and even then, there's something wrong with our pool. Fixed it pretty much. Still leaking today, but it's okay. We pretty much figured it out. So I'm just busy. And of course, it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be an easy task. My mom's a liar. It was not an easy task at all. Thought she'd be researches the whole day. She brings up this YouTube video. Oh look, this is what you do. It's like, well, you got the whole day off.
It's not easy, Travis. Just
Yeah,
look at the video.
but it's like, well, what do I do with this hose? Well, I don't know. But in this YouTube video, so it's like, okay, cool. So it still ends up being my task. That's fine. But anyway, so all this is happening. As you see, this is a GeekVerse episode. It is an episode because we're doing Fantastic Four predictions. We're talking about Wonder Woman. We're talking about the opening weekend for Fantastic Four. We're talking about some other DC stuff. What else are we talking about? We got tons of trailers. Like, it's a juicy episode, and we're supposed to be doing the draft. So patrons, I guess not everybody looks at the schedule. You saw we had the comic book draft. We were supposed to be doing that tonight, but Dylan was under the weather, so he's already out for news. He's like, okay, I can do the draft. Kirkland, little mouth patzer. Oh, I got a migraine. I can't do it. He's probably just not prepared. He looked at his list. He's like, I don't even have 2 people. Fuck, I got to delay this. And, I even talked to Dylan. So I'm just seeing all this stuff. And then I'm seeing Dylan say, oh, we could do it Friday. There's no offense, Dylan, because he doesn't know. But it's like, we already got Dexter Superman ranked. So it's like, no, can't do it.
Well, I'm not here I'm not here tomorrow. I booked that off.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I booked that off.
When did you book
I put that in like months ago. I looked. I was like, oh, it's just Dexter. Okay, I have to take it off.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Here you go. People, inside look to our schedule. Look at the 18th. Is there any Taylor not available there? What?
See the purple? It's on the calendar.
It's not on the calendar. You better be trolling me right now. This better
no,
because
remember I said I had to book the 18th off too, and it doesn't even say it on there, but it says it on my end here.
And this is why it doesn't make sense, because if you look at the 5th right up there, July 5th, it says Taylor not available. And this is the weird thing. Everybody look at this counter. This are oh no.
It's there. What are you talking about?
Doesn't count. Oh no. I got to take something off the calendar. That's going to spoil something. So anyways, you can see it now if you want. But like this is the calendar, and we've had this calendar for about now 3 years now. So this is what we got, right? This is the blues, the greens mean something, but as you can see, the deep purple. This first 10 minutes, if you're just here for news, skip ahead if you're listening to the podcast feed or come back later. First 10 minute news is going to be a rant, and you're seeing a little inside GeekVerse. So we do this. I plan this out, big planner. So as you can see, the green, those are GV episodes or Patreon episodes. So those are like must. Those are like, the green is usually like, okay, that's all of us together. Where a blue is like either optional, or when you click on it, it's going to be like Death Stranding to review Dylan Travis, right? And then I got obviously the light pink there for gimmick stuff, so that's all good there. And then as you can see, the deep purple are unavailable. So as you can see, I was not available because I had Gwen's birthday and and then Kirkland's not available because he's in Alberta. But Taylor just did it now, and he's like, oh, so you can show up, but you can see up above at July 5th, he already had a slot that said Taylor not available. Now he's just added it in. So, my God, I don't know what the hell to do now because we have the Superman rankings tomorrow. And I said that.
But you said light blue's optional, so it's all good.
No, what did I say? It's optional till you click on the episode and then it says who's on that. So now I'm so pissed all around because now Dylan is like, oh, well, we'll just do it Friday. It's like, well, we're going to double. Can't do a triple. I can't do a triple. Barely see Emily enough, so I can't do a triple. And it's like, okay, so now I got to look at our schedule. It is packed, a lot of stuff. It is big time packed. So it's like, I got to find a way now because Taylor, fucking liar, didn't put it in there. I got to find to re-rank the Superman rankings and now the superhero draft predictions.
I know I'm wrong. I put it on my calendar, but didn't post to the Geekverse, but it listed it. It's stupid shit.
Well, fuck me, right? That doesn't help me out now.
Well, let's look back at Dylan and Kirkland, especially that Kirkland guy, that bastard, not showing up tonight. What is he thinking?
Well, yeah, I'll rant on him another time. GMO this Sunday, no question marks, 10 a.m. PST. Look out for that. So, but anyways, so yeah, Taylor constantly has this, and then so I'm dealing with this pool, and I go, okay, we were supposed to start this at 9, so we're a little early right now. So like, yeah, sure, we can start early. Taylor has to edit. The newscasts always take a little longer because of cutouts. So I'm trying to be a nice guy. So I'm like, we can start early. Can I just let you know when the pool's done? And while I'm just pissed off, I'm dealing with this. Everything's going wrong. Taylor's like, so I guess it's a weekly geek. And all I did was reply to my own message and just a question mark and just answer the fucking
What
question.
am I going to give you a hard time for? Of course. I'm not going to say anything.
I need to know. I'm in the middle of I can't check my phone all the time. I have 1 minute where my hands are dry. I don't have goggles on. I'm not trying to be protected from chlorine. And I'm like, oh, hopefully he'll answer before I do this next step. Oh, it looks like a weekly geek. Just say yes. Just say no. And here we are.
If you're sending it's a like almost life and death, and you just got to send one message. You only got time for one message. It's like, hey, I'm going to be late. Just automatically know with me. It's cool. It's cool. If you're saying you're late, it's going to be fine. If you're saying you're going to be like, hey, 4 days late, then, I'll check your message again after the
Kirkland,
fact.
4 days late. So,
yeah,
there we go. So, yeah, there you go. The schedule's in a complete flux, ladies and and that's why I am fired up right now. But we're going to have a fun time. We're going to do Fantastic Four predictions. I hope you got the Chat GPT stuff going. You're working on that, right?
Oh, I'm working on it.
You're working on that? I said all day to work on it just now. But, yeah, we got lots of stuff. Head over. We do have August 9th is our 10-year anniversary stream. We will be streaming at least for 10 hours. Right now, what are we in? I think probably what we'll do is, the last week of July, we're going to announce all. So what we're going to do is, obviously it's 10 hours, but we're making it that if you subscribe to Patreon, if you up your tier or send in a super chat, we will move up the time. So we'll either go, for half an hour more, and we are going to have stretch goals. Some things we'll do the day of. Some things will be like content you might unlock. Like, hey, if we go 2 hours, you'll do this. I've already announced if you hit us the 1 hour, we'll release the teaser for a third movie, which is very rough cut. It's not even done production, ladies and gentlemen, but you get to see a little bit of that. So there's lots of cool stuff already. We're going to have guests from the past, announcements. We have a bunch of shows. We're doing the 1994 Golden Geeks. We're doing trivia with the patrons. And that's a reminder. You have till the last week. You have till August. What is the official date? You have July 30th to respond and say that you want to join it. So if you're phase 2 and up, join and you'll be on either my team or Dylan's team. Tiz's going to prepare a bunch of questions for us. So there you go. You can start selling tickets for that movies a year earlier no. We'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, I wish. It's still Adrenochrome still planning to release next year at some point. There's still more festivals that are just longer, but the festivals, man, never attribute because some festivals legitimately people, if you're trying to get in that industry, there's so many festivals where it's like you submit and you're not going to find out for another 8 to 9 months, and you just can't. You're not allowed to release it in the public and stuff. So that's something I did not attribute for when I was a rookie going into the film stuff. So, but we'll have announcements, guests. We're going to be doing Geek Verses. We're going to be doing couples trivia with each other. We're going to be doing, I think there's one other, but we got 7 events. And there's some stuff that we haven't even announced yet. We're waiting to see if it's confirmed. You can look at that schedule. But we're trying to get everything down. So the 30th of July, that's when we're going to give you the final rundown, everything we're doing. And it's going to be a good time. I'm very excited the way it's lining up. You're going to get best ofs and montage, maybe hear some other people from the past. So, yeah, it's going to be a very good time. So mark down the day. And lots of that stuff off so you can watch watch the replay after, but lots of stuff we'll also put on the podcast feeds as well. But yeah, in honor of that, this week we released the Dynamic Duo episode. Me, Kyle, and Liam haven't recorded an episode since COVID, so that's like 5 years, but we haven't been together since 2017 in a podcast form. So we that's a fun one. I do apologize, some of the audio was a little wonky because we just had some cord issues with my mic, and we did, thank you, I suppose, for shouting out, we did figure it out. Unfortunately, it was just something we couldn't fix because it's needed a different type of cord. It was a whole ordeal, but we figured out, myself and Taylor, once we talked, like, oh, okay, that would make sense. And now for GV Day, we know what the issue was there. But yeah, it's still tons of fun. It's a little echoey at times, and my audio is not like supreme here, but it's miles better than what Dynamic Duo used to be. So it's tons of fun to catch it with Kyle and Liam. So if you're a newer fan, check that out. Obviously, you don't know those guys as well, but if you're an older, like the first 5 years of GV, you guys know they were on the first spin-offs, and they're some of my best friends there. So we had a good time talking about that. And yeah, Taylor hit all the other plugs, but yeah, what do you think, Tara, about this whole Nolan and the Odyssey? Obviously, it's not everywhere, and I did figure it out with because I was like, oh, maybe we'll I was like, oh, maybe I'll take a trip out there because this is one I'd like to see in IMAX. Like, oh, maybe me too. So I didn't know for sure. There's no trip planned with GeekVerse, but I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy these tickets just to be sure. S-Bubs, luckily, while we were doing Dynamic Duo, was like, oh, tickets are on sale for all these. Langley sold out. My worry though was that you said, oh, we'll have to wait for Abbotsford, which could be true, but the thing is, what I want to see is those ones that sold out were the 70 millimeter, so like the IMAX but pristine one. I don't know if Abbotsford has that, so that's something we might have to look into.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that. I just know that they have IMAX.
Yeah, but we should, if we can see in 70 millimeter, it's the way to go.
I'd be down. My eyes.
I've never seen one on the big screen like that. So
I've never seen one on the little screen. So,
but what do you think about what do you think about this this kind of it's an advertised play. What do you just think about this? That they're already selling tickets. It's estimated to earn already 1.5 million. Million. I saw Dylan. I put Millen and Dylan together. Boys coming down to van. Maybe I would like to. That's one for, and that's why you can see on the screen. I had 4 tickets selected. I had one for me, one for Taylor, one for Dylan, one for Clerkham. Before I even knew who was going, I'm like, I got to buy these tickets for the boys. But the seats, I'll pull it up. You thought those seats were fine. I didn't.
I would have been okay to the far side or in the middle where I
see that. So the obviously you got the screen right there, and the white is where we were. I just thought that was way too much to the side. We're almost to the point where we're looking over. Like, I think if we're making a trip, Taylor, to IMAX, especially 7 millimeter, we don't want to be seeing like from the side. I feel like we want to be dead center.
You do, and that's why those center 4 there that are kind of up in the front, I would still take that. I think that it looks closer than it is in the screenshot there, but I think it would be okay. You'd literally be like, you'd be floating on the ocean with whatever the fucking guy's name is.
I don't want that. Matt Damon? Odysseus?
Odysseus, yeah, you'd be floating on that raft with Odysseus at that close range.
But the good thing is, they only had screenings for 2 p.m. So I think if we can get some Thursday late night ones around that time, then that would be prime. So let's see. As says, for those 70 millimeter IMAX, if you're not in the middle near the back, ideally you won't see well. So there you go, Taylor. So you S-Bubs, who just recently saw, I think, Sinners in 70 millimeter, you don't want to be sitting anywhere but the middle. So it might be worth that. But yeah, what do you think about this this ploy? I don't think we've ever seen this with a movie before. Tickets like sale a year in advance. What do you think about this?
How the fuck am I supposed to plan a year in advance right now? I know some people, they plan trips. They buy their plane tickets, they do all that, but they base their whole lives around that. The whole family's going. This is some crazy shit. I don't know how I'm supposed to plan a year from now. So its official release is, what was it, 2026, July?
July 16th. It was yesterday. So it's literally a year in advance.
So that's... how many months after January is that?
Well, you can count out. So that's February, March, April, May, June, July.
April, May, June, July. Okay, so that's 7 months after January. So that would probably work
6
for me
months.
then.
It's 6 months.
6? Well, I'm counting January.
Okay, then
January 1st specifically.
Yeah.
Then that works, for my life schedule. Then that I can make that. I can make that. So if push comes to shove and you get that ticket, you can get me a ticket.
Well, there you go. And the thing is, you can just always return the ticket. It's not like a trip, and it's only to Vancouver. It's an easy one to do, right? So
that is true. I was looking at Oh,
I
sorry. Go
hope
ahead.
this doesn't become a trend. Lots of people have said that because Dylan, you'll hate this too. People are reselling the Odyssey
Oh
tickets for like $150.
no! Fuck off.
Here's the thing though. I hope it doesn't either, but I don't. I think the movies that could do this are literally on one hand. It would be like Doomsday or Secret Wars. I don't even think the Batman 2 could do that. And I think Nolan has just like, he is that big cojones that Nolan can go, hey, I'm gonna, and I don't think it's just Nolan. I honestly think like there is some pain to it, but I think it's a brilliant marketing thing because now already this movie had one teaser out. It's not even public, but shareware. The teaser's fine. But now there's headlines everywhere where it's like, oh, Odyssey's already made $1.5 million. Tickets on sale. Even people that won't buy the resale tickets. It's like the fact that that's the thing. So already a year out, just putting the tickets online has become a marketing stunt where versus like, let's say they went on sale 2 months before, it just would have been like, oh, tickets are on sale. Cool, I'll buy them now, right? But this becomes like a first time everything. So, and I'm not going to doubt them because I doubted Universal and Nolan with Oppenheimer because remember they did that thing where the YouTube for Universal was like the Oppenheimer trailer like on repeat for months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Remember that? So that was something that was weird, but it obviously Barbenheimer helped as well too. But that worked. So to me, it's kind of like I'm not going to question them, and I think this has worked because other than the resale part, it's like everyone's talking about this, and it's dominated like the film Twitter conversation. So again, I think. It's the same way when people were selling like No Way Home resale tickets. It's like worst case scenario, I'll catch the next screening. It's not like a one time ever thing. So, but yeah, definitely, I think we should be making some trip there, and then we can bring our gear and podcast at Dylan's place.
There
That's
we
a
go.
good
That'd be
settling point.
perfect.
But I do. That's the thing. So Dylan, I'm not sure. I don't want to say where you're on air. I can't remember how far you would be from Thea or Langley. But that's what I want. Same with you, Tay. I want us to go. I want us to get the 70 millimeter. That's what I want. I want us to go. I think it's worth a little extra drive. I don't care. I'll put the money in the gasoline. Doesn't matter to me. I love.
What the hell is this stuff?
Gasoline.
So you got that going on. So
It'd be a good drive. Good drive.
It's not like anyone can spoil the Odyssey. Yeah, I think it's just Nolan though. It's only Nolan because I don't care. People might say this is too early for me to say. At one point I thought it was, but to me, Nolan's the GOAT. I still, if you ask me right now because I aged, I'll say Martin Scorsese. But I honestly think Nolan's the greatest filmmaker of all time. I don't think any other filmmaker you could have done this with. That's not an IP. It's just Nolan, and it's just like everyone knows the Odyssey, everyone knows the story, but it's because we don't know what Nolan's gonna do with it. Just like his scope, his vision, right? So it's very interesting. But yeah, would you worry that this becomes a trend?
I do worry, but at the same time, there are moments where movies come out and I want nothing but just to get those tickets. Like if Mandalorian and Grogu were to put up ticket sales tomorrow, I'd be buying them day one. Avatar 3, I'd be buying them day one. So there are things,
That's
but I'm
too
a little
far in advance.
picky.
You just said, I thought.
It is. So I am situational on it.
Again, you can just refund your tickets. It's like you don't got to take a plane ride. You don't you would know 2 weeks before that trip, like, oh, I can't go to Vancouver. I'm just gonna refund that seat.
What happens if you have to go to the theater to refund that ticket, though?
It's not 2005. It's Cineplex. You can just send an email and like, okay, here's your fund back.
Oh, yeah, here's your money. 2 weeks later. Jeez, it's brutal. But you do make a good point.
It's brutal. Well, it could be brutal. Let's see here. We'll save. Maybe we'll come back to what we've been watching. Maybe we'll save that for. I don't know when we're gonna do it. We just got a lot of stuff. We'll quickly. We're okay. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Fantastic Four predictions. We're gonna talk about DCU updates. So that's Wonder Woman fast tracked. Superman box office having a killer week this week, and then some Batman 2 news, and then some trailers. Taylor, give me a quick fire of what you've been watching, and then we'll get into our main topic here.
Quick fire, just catching up on some of the 1994 retro stuff, and then the other thing that we've heavily been binging on because it's been nice having the past couple days off from the podcasting. So me and Madison started. Well, I started on the weekend, 1923, and then I did 2 episodes, and then Madison watched one of them with me when I was watching it in the living room, and then she's like, "Okay, we're gonna watch this together." And so we were now on season 2.
Is that the one with Harrison Ford?
It's the one with Harrison Ford.
Shut the fuck up!
He's so fucking good in that show. The show is so much better than Yellowstone. I really like Yellowstone, even though it did fall apart near the end. but I love that this is designed as just like a season 1 and season 2 limited series. This is it, and then after this we'll probably jump on to 1888, and then I learned that they're doing a 1944 after, which will have some characters from 1923. But 1923, oh, it's such a good fucking story. Like you feel ashamed, and the other thing too, you do. It's just the stuff that they go through is brutal, but nothing compares to just the discomfort of seeing these Native Americans going through, or I should say indigenous individuals going through like the residential schools and how they're just being treated. I've never seen any show or any movie. I know they exist, but it's just that have popped up onto my radar that I've seen on TV or whatnot with these kind of depictions of just how it goes on. And you hearing it as one thing and talking about it as one thing, but in the show and actually visually seeing it, and I'm a very visual person, it is so difficult to watch, and you get so fucking angry at just the shit that these people were doing back then. God damn, like it's just horrible. And they don't give these individuals like, there's not much of like a happy like turnaround, because I mean, at least so far where I'm at in the show, it just feels like, they just get walked on and walked on and walked on. And it's just horrible. It's just horrible. So it can be pretty brutal to watch. But they just, I'm glad it's in there, because I think it, like for me, it does a great job at creating that awareness and just giving you like a visual representation. Like, hey, it's extremely shitty. This is really, really shitty. And just like, look at it. Look what happened. So, yeah, that again, the show is just fantastic. It's a great show. I think it's really, really well written, and the characters are just top tier, top notch. And I like that it has little ties into the main Yellowstone show. And yeah, I'm not going to stop recommending it. It's an amazing show.
That's it? So you're watching right now?
I think that's all I'm watching right now. Yeah,
that's fine that you can speak on. Yeah, so I can speak about it. I see Mike down there saying that I'm teasing with the Wicked review. That's what he wants. So I'm gonna wait for a couple more weeks to talk about that. No, I did, because I got a whole different story to talk about. But at one point it was just me and the older girls and Valerie, and so we had to watch something. Not had to, just put something on. Was keeping them busy while I was doing other stuff. But it just needed a cool down moment. So like, okay. And many times the girls asked to watch Wicked, but it is 2.5 hours, so that's not like an easy put on, because it's just like, one, sometimes we don't want them in front of the TV that long, and then two, it's like lots of times when we usually let them watch stuff, it's before bedtime, just to get them settled in, they've showered or done something. It's like, okay, you watch a show, then we'll go restore, and then bedtime, right? So, but that's where, okay, we had the day to ourselves, so okay, we're gonna watch Wicked. And I said I wanted to give the full Monty, because last time I watched it, I will say I got longer than 15. I thought it was 15 minutes. I was more like 25 to 30 minutes in there, and I watched it, and no, I enjoyed it more than I thought, but I still don't, I didn't have the religious experience Taylor did, where he walked in, was like, oh, 5 out of 5. Not that, there's stuff like, I like Jonathan Bailey in the movie as an actor, but I don't like the subplot of the, I'm like the love triangle sort of bit, like that, all that stuff to me. I checked out, I loved all the stuff with Alphaba and Glinda. Thought that was all good stuff. There is a bit much singing for me in that. I'm not a musical guy, and there's a few musicals that I love, so I guess I just didn't love every song in there, but I thought there was some great stuff in there. There's some great character stuff as far as like we like treating people well in that meeting. And I actually think that scene when Alphaba, what did I call her, Wicked and Glinda? Is that what I call her?
No, you said Alphaba.
I said Alphaba. Okay, I never know, because I meme on Gwen and call her Alphabet all the time. But Alphaba, like when she's dancing and Glinda joins her, like that's a really good scene. And everyone's right. Like I had woke up like in the last 2 minutes, but like the Defying Gravity spot, like tremendous. Like it's a great set piece, great build up, everything like that. I'm not even saying this, well, a little bit of a negative way, and people have said, oh, maybe in part 2, so wait and see. I don't think the movie sells me a good enough job of why Glinda turns her back on Alphaba. I'm not spoiling anything. Wicked 2's out in a couple more months, so like if you haven't seen it, I don't know, but like I didn't buy that, so that just made me hate Ariana Grande's character, because it's just, she just kind of joins and like, yeah, I'm gonna call my friend a murderous witch and call her Wicked, and we'll go there. And I've seen the idea of like, well, she's working the system from the inside. But as far as I know, everything still happens the way it does, and Alphaba just ends up dead. So I don't know how well from the inside she's working if her best friend ends up dead and everyone brands her a witch. I'll digress. So that's some stuff that could help, but I liked all the stuff, the animal quality. So no, I enjoyed it. It's something that if the girls were to put, I would any day watch that over. Like when we watched Minecraft, that was brutal. Or I don't know if it's going to be brutal. We talked about this on Weekly Geek, but like seeing that trailer for Cat in the Hat, that to me looks like that's going to be a brutal one. You know, like there's a couple ones where if they Wicked's still long, there was a time where literally I paused at the 2 hour mark. I'm like, it's got to be over now. And I was like, half an hour left. Like,
Are they Smurfs fans?
What? I don't think they are. If they've seen a Smurfs, they must have not liked it because they haven't talked about it. Like, I want to watch more Smurfs and everything. So, and I'm not taking the Smurfs. Absolutely not. That out of the question. So we're still going to try and see Elio next week, I'm hoping, before that goes out of theaters, because we were supposed to next week or last week, but things got messed around and stuff. So yeah, no, Mike, I enjoyed it. But same thing again, if Taylor was fighting for it any like Golden Geeks, I maybe would have gave maybe just Alphaba and Glinda some acting noms, but that's about it. Because I am with some other people where visually I think sometimes that movie, it looks kind of ugly. It just looks commercially at times, and not in like a good, not like a big commercial movie. Just it's very bright, and just the colors are a little off for me. And you know, music wasn't. I didn't love it, but there's some good stuff in there. So yeah, but I also am not gonna go. We'll see. I will not see the second one in theaters unless I have to, because my mom saw it with them, and she's like, I can't do that again. And she was excited to see Wicked. And then afterwards, she's like, I can't sit there for that long. So my sister, very much into it. So she wants to take the kids, great. And I'll watch it home. If not, I will, as a good father, that's one that I will go watch it with. There's a few that I won't, like the live action Disney ones. I've said, hey, again, luckily my family will take them. If they really want to see something, I will, but I'll try and avoid that stuff. So if they really want to, I will go, because, you know, there's only a small finite time till they're passionate about this stuff until they get cynical like the rest of us. So I
think your mom owes you, you know, for buying you that pool. She has to take your kids to Wicked Part 2.
That's a whole rant. Yeah, easy ball, whatever. Let's see, what else have I watched recently? I rewatched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which Taylor, you still never seen, but
haven't seen it. Yeah.
Fantastic movie. That's like Barbie or Top Gun, just like summer vibes. Just summer vibes. Album's fantastic. I have watched Ironheart, but I'm gonna wait till maybe on Tuesday, because I think I don't know. I have no idea what we're doing Tuesday. I really, because it's supposed to
be one episode in. I'm one episode in.
You were one episode in like weeks ago.
1923 came down. I was like, oh, sorry, Riri, I'm here with Harrison Ford.
I'm gonna wait until I talk about, because I think that we're still doing a Weekly Geek on Tuesday, and I saved some more Marvel rumors for that, and that will go into Ironheart stuff. So I'll talk about that. I'll just say it was fine. I'll say it's like ranked in the bottom 10, but it's not a fail. So that's kind of my general quick thoughts of, I think it's very, you know, lower tier Marvel, but you know, Dominique's great, and there's some of the stuff that's great in there. Yeah, not much. We rewatched the original Spider-Man, which I kind of forgot that they're coming back to theaters in September. So it's like, oh, we shouldn't have watched that. But we were just trying to pick a movie, and Ellie's huge into Spidey and Friends. You know that thing on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
She loves that show. So like now she's all in the Spider-Man, and they love that. So I talked about that already. Right, I talked about the web thing. That's about it there. So, and anything else, same thing like you have talked about. It's going to be for 1994 Golden Geek. So let's take our. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you watched that Young Jedi show that they have on Disney Plus, where it's like the High Republic?
They didn't jump to it as much as I wanted. I should give it another go, especially for Ellie. I think the problem for Logan and Gwen, it was like a bit too kiddie now, like the age they were at. So I should try with Ellie and the twins also when they get older and see. So I'll try it again, and it's a fun little cute kid show, you know.
Yeah, well, like obviously, when Satine was very, very little, I could I could watch all these different Star Wars things and whatnot. It was fine, and Madison didn't care too much. Yeah. But now with Satine being much more cognitive and talking and everything, and being
careful, yeah.
Oh, I got to be careful. Yeah, so we're watching Phantom Menace, and Darth Maul got sliced in half and whatnot, and Satine's just watching it, and Madison gave me some grief, and I felt kind of bad. So I put on. The Jedi Padawans or whatever, Young Jedi or whatever.
Down tonight.
Yeah. So Satine seemed pretty on board, like excited, and I was like watching it and engaging with it. But same time, like I don't know. I feel like you gotta get. We watched all of Mando season 3 together. I just want to get her back on those Mando shows and watch through the live action stuff because it's just so much better. But again, she's a kid, and I don't want to make her, not be receptive to violence. I don't want her to be dulled, the senses dulled, or anything like that. So, which apparently can happen, but.
You mess and have fun. You guys figure that out. I just took Logan was, I guess she's all or 5, but she just, or no, she's 5 now. A couple months ago, just watching Anakin get burned up on the big screen, so.
See, that's how we were raised. We had that stuff happen. So
I'm doing so. But yeah, we'll take our first ad break and then we'll get our topics. We're going to start with some Fantastic Four, so we'll be right back. And we are back. So go up all the way. Kevin Davis, thanks for joining us again. And thanks to everybody joining us on Tuesday, me and Kirkland at Fiery Chat. So yeah, if you have anything about our topics, anything else, throw them in there. It was a fun time. And we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff here right now. But Kevin Davis to start us off. We're going to do Fantastic Four predictions. So we're going to talk about box office, our excitement, the movie, ChatGPT, some end credit stuff, etc. But Kevin Davis says, Fantastic Four First Steps. Man, I completely forgot that's the title. I forgot that it's First Steps.
I forgot the first steps too.
Yeah, until Days is gone here. Fantastic Four First Steps have nothing to prove at all. Marvel Studios will bounce back with Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. I don't know if I don't completely agree with you, Kev. So I'm on a 50-50 with your statement. I agree no matter what happened. This movie could make $2, and I think they will bounce back with Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret. It's funny. The way Asp said we're talking about DC, I feel like these topics keep coming up, and it's not bad. I think it's just because we're literally in the middle of DCU starting and MCU trying to recover, and I feel like this comes up because people have different takes, and now it's like same thing. We couldn't talk about the DCU till we saw the Superman success now, right? And same thing with Fantastic Four. I agree in a few ways where no matter what, Doomsday and Secret Wars, I think those are, check out Dynamic Duo, talk about that with them as well. I think no matter what, those are billion-dollar movies. I think they could far in the win their $1 billion. So I think money-wise, they will bounce back. But you and me have been talking about this, just off-cast, whatnot. I've said this before where I still think those have to be good though. I said this on Dynamic Duo that I think both Doomsday and Secret Wars have to be like a 8 out of 10 range for most people. Even if it's 7, if you have people leaving your big tier movies, because like the other stuff, Thunderbolts, Captain Marvel, or like the Marvels, Captain America, they can go see it and go, okay, well, I didn't really enjoy this, whatever. And now it's like maybe they won't go back to see Captain America 5 or like the Marvels 3 or whatever, right? But with the Avengers and Spider-Man 2, they can't make a really bad Tom Holland movie. I know some people go, "Oh, Far From Home is not good." Far From Home is nowhere near a bad. Like it's my least favorite of his trilogy, but it's like that's not a bad movie in my opinion. Like there is much worse comic book fare out there. That is in a different stratosphere. But to me, if they go see the big brand movie, they say the top tier ones, and Avengers sucks or is disappointing, that's where I don't think they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back money wise, but then if people leave disappointed from those two big movies, people start to lose faith in the brand overall, and they will. The next time Avengers happens, I will not say it'll be $1 billion. Same thing with X-Men. Maybe people go see because X-Men they might go, this kind of Marvel stuff has been kind of shitty, and that's where Gunn is in the perfect position. He is the perfect position to strike like a fucking viper and take over. Because if he can make good stuff, and Marvel starts to trip on their big stuff, then like it's not gonna matter if Clayface sucks. It'll sure matter if Avengers Secret War sucks, So it's kind of a good thing right now that James Gunn is just kind of rocking his smaller stuff. So and the other part I disagree with, and I'll throw at you, Taylor, of they have nothing to prove at all. I think they do. I think to me it's proving as far as Marvel would love this to be a big hit, because if you have a big hit with F4, that means you got Fantastic Four 2 and like you got a trilogy. You have new characters that could bank and be your new Tony or Cap, right? And the other thing I think it has to prove is I hear talk about all the time, a friend of the show, William from Sci-Fi Center, when I was on Vodka Stream, he said something that he considers them A tier, and he's like, no Marvel character that's A tier's never made less than 700 million. And I just said, like, I don't think Fantastic Four are A tier. I think for comic book readers, yes, they're the first family, very important to the history of comic books and Marvel. But like, Taylor, when you think of characters, like for the GA, do you think the Fantastic Four are considered A tier?
No.
I don't. And we looked about this. Oh, I guess it was me and Kirkland. We looked about this, and I did on Fuck It too. We've been so busy. The streams are all over my mind. But there's been no Fantastic Four movie that I think has made more than 350 million. So it's not like, oh, Superman was massive with Christopher Reeve, or oh, like Keaton's Batman, or Toby. It's like you could go back, and even after Superman Returns bombed, you could say, well, yeah, but those Christopher Reeves movies were huge, and Henry Cavill had a big Superman movie. You had the math and the history to back you up. Where Fantastic Four, no movies that have, granted, they weren't the greatest, but still nothing over 350. That to me does not show the audience cares for them. And we'll talk about some of the specific tracking, but like it's tracking lower than Superman opening weekend. It's tracking really bad in China. It's pre-sales, like I guess we're talking about now. Lots of movies in China not doing good. Like Superman's pre-sales were $22,000. That's not great. But then Fantastic Four's pre-sales are $2,000. That's not good, or 2,000 yen, whatever it is, right? Like that's real bad. That's in general in China. North American movies aren't doing good, but I think they do have something to prove. I think it is to prove, hey, is the Fantastic Four Doctor Strange, a Captain America, or Iron Man, or are they a Thunderbolts or Marvel, right? Like, are they a next A-tier brand that now when they do a soft reboot, they go, hey, we got the F4 with us? Or is it, like, I don't know if we're ever going to get Thunderbolts 2 because Thunderbolts 1 didn't do that well, right? So that's where I agree and disagree, where I think they will bounce back, but I do think the F4 is something to prove. But what do you feel, Taylor, as far as like F4 doing well? Like, do you think,
was
like, honest comment there?
$2,000 in their like native currency.
I don't know. I'm assuming
Because let's say that, and that was China.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
2,000 Chinese yuan is 278 American dollars. That's not good.
Okay, then it's 2KR money. It's definitely 2KR money. Then, yeah.
278 bucks. That's a wolf. That was a wolf. So was that first Fantastic Four movie that we retroed? Was that released publicly, or was that one of the ones that they axed?
That was one of the ones they axed and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. So very rough go at it with this, Fantastic Four.
Yes. And then
I think
Four stick, chop
Fan
shit,
Four stick that really didn't pay off. I feel, and this is just me being my own humble opinion, I don't have any scientific factual information to back this up. I feel like people are more excited for when Reed Richards appeared in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness than here. And I'm not saying that people don't like Pedro and the family. I think everyone loves these actors and Vanessa Kirby that are coming to this movie. But I think just the excitement of the character appearing in Doctor Strange was a lot more hype.
Though, right? Where this is like months of advertising. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like this movie, I am excited for it. As I said, when me and Dylan did that last Weekly Geek together, that next trailer that they put out had me totally jazzed. I got off my rocker for it. And Silver Surfer absolutely terrified me, totally freaky with that speech. But I think that I really do appreciate how this movie feels like it's just got its own aesthetic. It feels very colorful. It feels like it's its own bubble, its own world that it's created. It feels very different, and I don't know if everyone else is going to be as receptive as that, or as I am with that, and going to be on board with it in the overall scheme of things, especially after Thunderbolts.
I think we all like it. I enjoy the aesthetic, but I don't know if the aesthetic of, like, I know it's like what's that term, like old futuristic, or I can't remember. There's a term. Someone in the chat it's like when it's like you have sci-fi futuristic stuff.
Like Fallout, right?
Retro futuristic. Yeah, like there's a whole term. Someone knows the actual genre, let me know. But I don't know if
retrofuturism, yeah.
Is it retrofuturism? Okay. I don't know if the general audience loves that. Like, I don't know if the people like the younger people, SBub said it right as you did it, so SBub's still the guy in the chair. I don't know if people that aren't comic book nerds are like, oh, that looks cool, like a different type of 60s. Like, I think, unfortunately, the generation below us might be like, that looks kind of like old stuff. Like, I don't want to see, like, I don't care about that. Like, there's no nostalgia for it in a sense. So I don't know. And yeah, I don't know what the hype is. I used your friend as a reference when we saw on Weekly Geek, when we saw Superman, and he said, he's going to just see that streaming. And I think there's a lot of people that are going to do that with F4 because I think the problem with F4 as well, because, and some people brought this up with Thunderbolts, I feel like it has setup movie written all over it. That's, I think, the issue where I'm hoping to fall in love with the characters. I will say that there was that second trailer. I haven't seen that last one that you and Dylan talked about. The second trailer did get me more excited, and I was in. But I've gotten way more less excited. Like, what would you say? Like, not what do you think the movie's gonna be, but out of a 10, what do you think your excitement's at?
Right now, I'm at a 7, but
Oh, that's lower than I thought.
I'm at a 7 because I feel like the hearing all the rumors about just things being cut and them axing John
Hour
Malkovich,
55,
like John
runtime?
Malkovich's character just completely removed altogether. That's just kind of iffy to me. And I'm more, to be honest, I'm a 10 out of 10 on the setup. You know, when we get to the end and it's going to show us like how this is going to tie off, because what, like, I like Thunderbolts a lot, but when we got to that post-credit scene, that just like totally shot my excitement up. And I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now this is like a cut scene that's paying off and building this interconnected universe, which we've not had in so fucking long. So I'm excited for that mostly when it comes to this movie.
Yeah, for me, like you said, the John Malkovich thing, that getting cut, to me, a runtime shouldn't matter because, like, hey, look at our movie. Our movie's like 49 minutes, right? But that's a very different situation where our first movie is like, it's 2 characters and it's like a set in the woods and it's just that's it, right? We're not setting up this and that, but it's like F4, all these villains, Galactus, Franklin Richards, and then a way to backdoor into the MCU. It's like an hour 55. It's under 2 hours. Like, to me, I am concerned, especially because there's so many movies that we've heard from Marvel where it is that 2 hour mark just above or just below or just on it. And then when you see them, it's been, oh, like we could use a little more. And even like for like you guys liked it more than me, but I think we all agree Superman, we could have used more of that, right? Like I think we all agree that if Superman was a bit longer, the movie probably could have been even better. And the question is like, are they cutting stuff because it's just they feel this doesn't make sense? Are they cutting stuff because they want to get into as many theaters as possible? Because like the shorter your movie is, the more theaters you can fill. I don't know, but that doesn't matter to me if it's a bad movie or like a meh movie. If it comes out and it's a meh movie, it doesn't matter how short it is. People aren't gonna go pay and see it. So yeah, when Malkovich was out there, that's where it's just like that's gone, and that's where I keep referring to this, and I hope it's correct. I talk about Weekly Geek and Dynamic Duo. This idea, and if he can stick to it and he's not lying, of James Gunn saying, hey, they don't want to go into production or anything until there's like a fully script. Like, to me, if that can happen, that's some of the best things ever because like John Malkovich can't be cheap.
No.
So they got him, they paid him just to cut him. Like, what? And they've done this a few times or changed up.
Same Avengers, right? In Endgame. With Ironheart's or Iron Man's daughter.
They did, yeah, but I don't think she was getting a big paycheck, right? But still, like, or even stuff like Giancarlo Esposito was not in Captain America when they shot the first time, and then they rewrote. We need a character. Oh, let's get Giancarlo, and I'm sure he wasn't cheap either. So that's the thing. It's just like it's tough because the MCU was built on Iron Man did not have a finished script, and it was shooting and changing all the time, and that movie worked big time. So I think they think every time that could work. But clearly, I think they've ran into a few more times than not recently where it's not working. So stuff like John Malkovich, a great actor who probably wasn't cheap, should not just be getting cut. Like that feels odd. That feels like if they, because I think he's playing the Red Ghost. That'd be definitely, we just got a character actor, didn't cost us much. Yeah, cut this, it doesn't really work. But you went out to go get a great actor who, I would imagine, hopefully did good at the role. I don't know. And that's where it's just like, I'm more worried. I'm at like a 6 for my excitement. Granted, I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan, so, bear with me there. But in general, I just worry it's going to be a very safe setup movie. And I think that even though Superman, I think there's some aspects of Superman that are safe, like the general plot. Like, it's a classic character story, but then I think there's some character and real world stuff in there that's not safe. Where F4, I don't think is going to have really any of that stuff. I think it's going to be very similar to the first Captain America, which people like. I'm not saying that, but I just think it's not going to take leaps and bounds. And I'm glad Mike pointed this out a couple days ago, where I think we're very much in the position where for the first time since '08, DC could beat Marvel, which is kind of crazy. I thought it had happened before, but it hasn't since The Dark Knight. And they've, they're going to beat Thunderbolts with Superman. They're going to beat Captain America. And I think they're gonna beat Fantastic Four, because my rankings, I think I might be wrong. We're gonna see, but I remember for my summer was Superman, or it was Superman, Jurassic, and F4. And I think Jurassic's gonna be on top but I think you were that order, but you had Superman on top of it, or at the bottom, which I don't think is going to happen anymore now. Because right now we got the track, and it's not a big difference, right? But right now the final tracking for F4 is open up as 100 to 110 million. So let's say it all opened at the top of that tracking, it would be about 15 million less than Superman, which again, not a huge leap and bound, like, oh my god, but it's still that they're losing to that. So where do you feel it's going to rank now? We got this tracking, and now we got, some of the stuff coming out. We've seen how Superman's done. What do you think it's going to be opening weekend? You need to win here, because you're wrong about Jurassic World. I got that one right, and then Kirkland got the Superman one right. So where are you on F4? What do you think your opening weekend's going to be?
Ooh, I think it's gonna do. Ay. I would say 105. I think it's to come out this late. I mean, if Jurassic World did not have that 4-day weekend, there'd be a very different conversation.
Yes.
Superman being a week right after. Yeah, it's good. I think it's better that it was spaced out from. To go up against a dinosaur movie is okay because dinosaurs is not superheroes, but to space it out a week away from Fantastic Four, that's not the greatest thing. So I think it's good that they're 2 weeks apart. I think that's really good. And word of mouth too. I think people, when this comes out, Fantastic Four, people are still going to be thinking like, oh, I'm only seeing one superhero movie. Oh, I'm going to go see the new Superman. See, I haven't seen Superman in a while, but we've always seen lots of Marvel stuff. Or, I'm going to go see a dinosaurs, take the kids to see that. So I think it's still going to be a battle between, not really a battle, but Superman or Jurassic World. Not to say people aren't going to go see Fantastic Four. I mean, there's definitely going to be the Marvel fans that do go to it, but I don't think doesn't have that oomph anymore.
Yeah, because the original 3-day for Jurassic World was only 82 million, which a couple of others did do, I think, some holidays, but still 82, and that's where I think I was like at like a 90 or something like that. I said it was going to crack 100, and I think I'm with you on. I think there's a chance because I think Captain America, I think that opened at like 90. I'm spitballing here, but I think it's like 95, and then Thunderbolts was 78. So I think that it will beat those two for sure. I think there's always a chance it could come under the initial tracking, but I'm gonna say like 105. That's a good one. So I feel like, do I go higher or lower? Like I'm pretty much in that ballpark. I'm gonna take the over just to be a little. I don't know. Because I was gonna say like 113, but even that I feel like I'm not, because that's over expectation. I'm gonna go 108. I'm gonna go a little above you, but I think could be lower. And then what do you think for overall? Detail saying I think it makes 550. Super bad. Mike says I think I think it makes 500 mil. What are you thinking?
I think it's gonna make between 450 to 500. I don't think it's gonna crack the because Jurassic World right now I think it was at like 544.
Yeah, 542.
Okay.
Yeah, so. But that's a big international movie. We don't know how F4 is going to do international yet, obviously, right? Because that's where Superman's struggling. Superman, literally, we'll talk about later, but its domestic box office is going very well. It's just international markets that's having some issues lagging behind.
And Thunderbolts grossed worldwide 382. So I'm going to say that, this will be, I'm going to say 450.
Jeez, wait, 450? I think it... Because if Captain America, I think that got to like what, 425 or whatever, something like that. I think that, are you searching what Captain America did overall?
415.
415. I feel confident unless I'll put the asterisk on it. Unless F4 reviews really terribly, like really bad, I think it's gonna make 500. But I think it'll be like 502, 503, like 59. Like I think it's gonna be just over it. But I do think Superman. Do you think Superman's gonna beat it now?
I think so.
Superman Mike says, do you guys think the plot looking so close to Rise of Silver Surfer in the trailers could hurt it? Yeah,
No.
I don't know if it's gonna hurt it, but I think.
I don't think the GA remembers that movie, to be honest.
There is that, but I just feel like if they do, they might feel like, they're just remaking that movie, and they go, I don't need to see I don't need to see that, you know. Like I don't need to see that redone again. You know, it's not like a classic movie that is being remade. It's like, yeah, Rise of the Silver Surfer, but I think in the sense that it looks somewhat generic, and that's what, you know, doesn't help it. And again, if you are in tune to it, we kind of know how this movie's going to end already, right? So I think it does a little bit, but Taylor, you don't.
No, I think that who remembers that movie? I mean, only I feel like a
We
handful
remember
of
it,
people remember it. I remember it because I really really enjoy that one. You get Doom on the Silver Surfer's board. You get some other crazy shit in there too. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think the GA is familiar with
Which
it.
I haven't said because we're waiting to our top 10, but because we haven't talked about this, I haven't said this. So big. Maybe I did on our. I don't know if I did it all. But if I didn't, it's worth repeating. Big shout out and rest in peace to Julian McMahon, because man, that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he passed away last week. Cancer, 56. Again, 56, very young age. When I did that math, I'm like, man, I am 24 years away from that. That's crazy when you think like, oh, 24 years and you would pass away. Like, one, enjoy your life, but two, such a very underrated actor. Nip Tuck's one of my favorite shows, and I actually thought he would have been a great Doom given the right situation. I'm very excited to watch the Surf. I think that's my plans. Hopefully next week is after my Donkey Kong playthrough to watch the Surfer with him and Nick Cage, because I heard he was great, and it's such a shame he's having like a comeback. So yeah, big shout out to him. I love Julie, man. That one really hurt. So shout out to, you know, he got to be that Doom on that surfboard. So a couple comments that I missed here. Superman Mike says, yeah, no post Endgame MCU movie has a direct sequel yet when you think about it. And that's what I mean, like, F4 is something to prove. F4 has to show, like, are we part of that top dog tier, or are we the experimental post-COVID writer strike? Like, it didn't really work. Let's not do this. Because, like, people love Shang-Chi, but there's still no Shang-Chi on the books. They say they're making it, but, like, this has been a long wait, right? So we'll see what happens there. Let's see. Superman Mike says, S-Bub says, I'm hearing good things about Superman, but I still think Superman maybe you meant F4, right? Hearing good things about, because you said I'm hearing good things about Superman. You've seen Superman, S-Bubs. I know this. So, but what was I going to say? Let's see. But I still think Superman beats Fantastic Four. Right now, DC is hot. MCU is not. I will say, let's throw that up there. I knew you meant F4. Okay. I think Superman is hot. MCU is not. I think if it's DCU, we have to see, because it's pretty much not confirmed, but it sounds like Lanterns is early January, right? Or early, I'll just say Q1. Peacemaker, the good thing for it, there's multiple characters. I forgot, like, Otis from Superman is supposedly in that. Like, some people have said it's going to act as a semi-sequel to Superman. We have to see Peacemaker, but I trust them, even though James Gunn's not heading all that. I trust that to be good. I hope Lanterns is good. So to me, I can't say it's hot or not yet, because the problem is next year you got the two movies. It's Supergirl and Clayface versus Spider-Man 4 and Avengers Doomsday. It's very much like the MCU is back, the MCU is dead. Or I suppose we do in the gimmick, like 1 week AEW is the best company, and then the next week WWE is the best company, right? So, and yeah, I agree. Peacemaker season 1 was big, and that's just a question of, can season 2 be big? And that's what I'm saying. I think it will be, or be a hit. So you have Superman and Peacemaker. I think Lanterns, I trust them again, that to be a hit, as that's on HBO. From what I've seen with Supergirl, I think that's going to work. Clayface, I think that's a 50-50, because at least Greg Gillespie, he's had, like, I fucking love I, Tonya. Like, you tell me the guy that made I, Tonya making Supergirl, we're in the clear. The guy making Clayface, like, I don't have the most confidence in that. So it's very tough, but that's where, like I said, if Spider-Man 4 and Doomsday are mediocre, then you'll really have the DCU's hot and the MCU's not. Espo says that's the whole reason I got on Twitter to talk about Peacemaker. And Details says, thanks for recommending Collateral. Travis thought it was fantastic. Yeah, man, because that's on your watch list still, right, Taylor? Collateral.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it's been on my Netflix. I got on my Netflix list right now. I want to watch it again soon. But yeah, I love that movie. That's a Travis movie right there. Like a semi character study. It's two characters in the location. Again, hence the first movie made. Like, even the second movie. Like, I like those contained stories. And yeah, Tom Cruise is, to me, his best role. So Let's see. We're kind of all over about Fantastic Four predictions. So we did the box office. What do you? That's the tough thing. Like, I feel like we know what's gonna, in my opinion, happen. Where okay, we're gonna. I feel like I can tell you Act 1, 2, and 3. Act 1 is we establish the F4 as a family. Sue's pregnant. Mazel tov. Act 2, the threats are here. Galactus, Silver Surfer. Act 3, they do some stuff. They don't get to save their universe. Planet the Apes style, they find a way out, and they end up in the MCU.
Well,
Am I wrong?
I think you're right, but I was kind of thinking of proposing an alternative. But
Yeah.
I don't want to say because it might be spoilerific if you haven't seen the latest cutscene that they showed from the movie.
Are you talking about what Galactus wants?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that because I know that,
Okay.
but I don't know if anyone's seen that.
Okay, I won't say what it is, but I'll say that I think what Galactus wants, they jump universes, obviously, like we know, or they leave, and then their universe doesn't get destroyed because Galactus is really following them to get what he wants.
The only reason I think
So-
Galactus is going to get destroyed, well, I don't know about destroyed, but I think he's going to be gone for a while. Is I don't like when they're going to deal. I don't think you're going to deal with Galactus in Doomsday.
No, but I think they're going to keep him on the back burner, and I feel like this is their way of calling his bluff. Like, well, I'm going to just either you give me what I want or I destroy your planet. And I think that's when they're going to be like, okay, well, we're just going to
What a
fuck
bluff
off
to
then.
call.
Yeah,
And then
they're
he
going
still
to.
destroys it.
Well, yeah, that would be pretty shitty. But I feel like they'll call his bluff and they'll take what he wants, and then he's going to be like, fucking find them.
I do like now with that context when we had that clip of Reed being like, they're like, can you save us? And Reed's like, I don't know. And it's like, well, yeah, you're really, I don't know. I feel like you're really kind of screwed now. So, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that we get enough time with the family. Very much like Superman, right? Some great Lois and Clark stuff. I think we got some good scenes with them, but would have liked more. I hope that's not how we're leaving F4, where it's like, oh, I really like them together, but we didn't have enough time to sit with them for a while. I know it's a tough thing, but again, just make the movie longer. Like, in my opinion, I think the thing, at least what I'm excited about, is all the acting wise. I'm very excited. I've been on the bandwagon that I still think Pedro will be great because I think all the things Reed Richards is, whether he's the loving husband, whether he is the deadbeat husband as far as not like walking out on his wife, but just like he's not around, he's too focused on his projects, on the world, whatever. The good father, the guy who's too busy again to do stuff, the friend, but also the guy that doesn't know his boundaries because he's just a very smart guy who, sometimes is almost on the spectrum with how smart he is, and he doesn't understand people's emotions. Like, they're kind of some Dr. Manhattanisms. He can, be charming, but he can be a complete asshole. This is a guy that can lead Fantastic Four, maybe in the Avengers, but in other multiverses is a villain. I think Pedro can do that. I like Evan Boss Baccarin. Joseph Quinn, I think, is going to be good. I think my only worry about him is writing. I know in one of the latest TV spots they showed him flirting with some ladies, which I think is good because I remember he said something like, "Oh, I don't think now Johnny has to be a womanizer." I was like, I think I don't know. That's a whole longer conversation. I think you can have both men and women in the world be, quote unquote whores, sleep around, as long as it's just consensual and that's their lifestyle. That's something that I think we've gone too far of oh man, a man fucking a lot of women. Oh man, a woman fucking a lot of guys. No, you're what are we, the 60s? You're supposed to meet someone when you're 16 and then marry up. It's that to me, that's not in the world, the culture that's changed. That's not something where I go, oh yeah, maybe with the Mandarin, right? With that character, there was lots of things that changed because this isn't politically correct anymore. We're gonna swap some stuff, make it a bit more palpable. Johnny being a ladies' man, I don't know, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some comics back in the 60s where he probably slapped a girl in the butt and was like, hey, good looking. Yeah, that's assault now. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to me, a womanizer is somebody that just sleeps around, is maybe he doesn't have the greatest relationship with women, but it's not that he's a terrible person, and that could be his mini arc. So we'll see. And then I've said before, Vanessa Kirby was my pick for Sue Storm, my fan cast that happened, and I love Julia Gardner. I don't know how she's going to do Silver Surfer, don't know how much they're going to give her, but I've been a fan of her since The American. She's my female version of Glenn Powell, where for years I was talking about this girl and finally she blew up. So I'm excited to see what they do as the characters. I just hope they get enough time to build the relationships, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. Superman Mike says, yeah, I don't think they'll have the guts to destroy the universe. I think they're gonna. But Mike doesn't. Where are you? You don't think they're gonna either?
Well, I thought initially, like your pitch where you said they will, I was kind of on board with it, but I think Disney's gonna do the safe route to like I proposed, where the Galactus is gonna be like, oh, you got what I want, and
I'll do
Fantastic Four is gonna go, and so
I'll kill her.
yeah, he's not gonna pull the trigger and shoot planet Earth.
But he can shoot planet Earth in their multiverse if they're coming to the MCU. Remember, they're not coming from a different planet. They're coming from a different universe.
They are, and I think that's where they think they're safe. And I think maybe it'll take Galactus a little bit of time to get there, because again, he's not going to be there right away.
Yeah.
Unless you just get Doom and Galactus teaming up in the next movie, which would be fucking sweet.
Then Doom gets his armor and he's all big and stuff. But yeah, no, I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna pull the trigger because I think they're gonna try and be like, look, this is we're going for it big, and I think the easy way out is it's a universe we don't know, and they've already stated like, hey, there's no other superheroes on this universe. It's a very easy universe to get rid of by just saying, hey, Galactus is gonna eat it up, and that makes Galactus a bigger threat. So I guess we'll see. If they don't, I'm kind of disappointed by that. But
is there one Galactus going universe to universe, or is it one Galactus per universe eating planets?
I feel like it's the latter, because like he's a eater of, they always call him like the eater of worlds, not the eater of universes, right? So it's like there's many different planets. So I would assume that you would escape and there would just be a Galactus, but maybe he can maybe that's his thing where F4 goes to different universe and he figures out even in F2 or somewhere down the line. But I don't know. I don't see them beating him, but maybe they do just beat him, because the F4s beat Galactus many a time, right? So maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm thinking, but then I just go like, okay, how do they end up in the MCU if the universe doesn't get destroyed, or if they beat Galactus? I don't know how they. I'll say in the 616, how do they get there? And that I don't know, So
yeah.
Any other predictions to do with the story, characters, appearances, etc.?
I don't think so. No.
Trying to think. Okay, give me what you think. What do you think some end credits would be? Because I gotta get some water.
Ooh, end credits, eh? I feel like you could see something that was maybe like more the Thunderbolts perspective, considering that they're crossing over with their post-credit scene, and maybe it'll be vice versa. That being said, though, I mean, we already know Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, so maybe you see something like that. But where would he be coming from? And there's so much to talk about with, okay, is this like a guy that looks like Robert Downey or looks like Tony Stark, and so he's playing it off and he's Victor Von Doom, or is he just like a variant? I don't know. There's so many different ways they could tackle it. So I think that there's a possibility of a post-credit scene where you have the Fantastic Four coming into our universe, and then you see Robert Downey Jr. sitting in the chair watching the TV or something like that, and he's like, oh, look at these guys.
Robert Downey Jr., not Tony Stark, not
no, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. So you think he's going to be in like, when you say TV, do you mean like in a multiverse, like always watching this, or is he in the 616?
That I don't know. That I don't know. I can't see him being in the 616 solely because we already have that same looking guy who he was Tony Stark. So does he come from another multiverse? Maybe he's like, oh, Galactus killed my, world too, so I came here, and then he sees the Fantastic Four. And maybe he tries to come off as a friend or something like that at first, but he killed his Fantastic Four in his universe.
I was going to say this. I was going to say this for Weekly Geek next week, but we'll just talk about it now because there'll be enough news and everything. Because news has just been flowing like gasoline and juice in the streets right now. I've seen this theory, and I think I've talked about this with maybe Kirkland on Weekly Geek, but I feel like now I think it's actually a rumor now. It's not just a theory. And I like it a lot, but I don't. The theory was, or the rumor was, so skip ahead like 2 minutes if you don't want to hear a potential doomsday rumor from a C tier scooper. But the rumor was that, yeah, you know, let's just say Downey, he was going to come to 616 posing as Tony Stark or Friendly Face to help, get heroes, people on his team, and then the flip would happen. Because that's the idea of, well, how do the Avengers and X-Men fight? Imagine if he comes to 616 and he says, hey, there's a big threat. There's a team on this planet, or on this universe, they're called the X-Men. They're killing people, they're killing whatever. I need your help to take them out. And they see a Tony, they see his face, they go, well, we must trust him. And that's how he gets these characters to fight or take each other out. I think that's great, because to me, that's the whole thing when there was these rumors of like, oh, he looks exactly like Tony Stark. Are they going to play into that? And early on, I was like, no, it's just going to be Doctor Doom. It's like, well, that's pretty lame. Like, to me, if you get a character that looks like your most popular character, you should lean into that. So how would you feel about that if that's the way he goes, or if he kind of pretends to be a friendly face, but then the twist happens?
I mean, it's similar to Mysterio, right? Where Mysterio, didn't have the recognizable face, but was trying to woo and befriend Tom Holland's Spider-Man, even to the point where he put the glasses on so he would look like Tony Stark, right? Just to kind of he had the hair styled up and everything like that, just to kind of fool Tom Holland. So we have seen that happen before, and this would just be literally a solid, carbon copy of him just totally using his thing for bad. So I'd be down
difference
for it.
is people didn't know that Mysterio, right? It was like, oh,
That's
who is this
right.
guy? Where this is like, oh, well, we love Tony, he must be good. So
Yeah.
Mike, I like this one. Let's see. Heroic sacrifice to destroy Galactus, but instead of dying in a big explosion, they end up in another universe. Yeah, I can see that. Again, at that point, I just say just destroy the universe, but I get it. Detail says Magneto wiping the floor with the new Avengers. I don't think so. I think Magneto as a character, sure, but I unfortunately don't think McKellen's going to make it out of these movies. I think that could be a big character that Doom kills off,
Yeah.
And are you, for percentage-wise, are you 100% that we're seeing Doom in this movie?
Oh.
The director said there's no Doom in the movie, but remember, Thunderbolt's end credit was shot by the Russos. Wasn't shot by, what's his name? Drake Schreiber. They shot that while on set, added it in. So I don't care what Matt Shackman says of, hey, there's no Doomsday here. It's like, or Doctor Doom. It's like, yeah, you're not KF. You're not running the joint. So
I'll say there's a 99.9% chance. The odds are extremely high, but I'm gonna say it's nothing's 100%.
99. Okay, I'm saying nothing's 100%.
Yeah, nothing's 100%.
So you couldn't say we're 100% recording an episode of GeekVerse right now?
Oh.
Yes, you could. That's what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say it's 100%, and I'm gonna put this asterisk on it though. You will see Doctor Doom. I'm not saying for sure you would see Downey. I think it'd be smart of them to make it that you see Downey to get those people excited and let people know, hey, he's on his way. But I'm gonna say you just see Doctor Doom at least. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not clarifying. I'm not going on Downey. So, all right. Here's what ChatGPT predictions here, or whatever.
Okay. All right. Fantastic Four, worlds collide. In a universe parallel to the MCU, the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm are already public heroes. They gained their powers during a deep space mission that exposed them to the Incursion Veil, an unstable energy field left behind after the collapse of the Sacred Timeline from Loki Season 1.
Wow, big pull. Even though
Big pull.
Season 1 kind of figured that out, but
Years later, Reed notices something terrifying. The stars are vanishing. He calculates that their entire reality is collapsing. At the center of this implosion is a devourer of worlds, Galactus, who now feeds not just on planets, but on entire timelines. He is evolving, or merging. But Reed intercepts the strange signal, originating from outside their universe. It's a burst of coded energy and old Stark tech frequencies, a call for help from another world, the MCU timeline. I thought I would label it as the MCU.
we do it sometimes, so I get it.
Reed builds the multiversal quantum drive into their spacecraft, the Odyssey, to escape and
Nolan.
He's directing the next one. To escape and warn the next stable reality. As they launch, Galactus appears, sending his herald Terrax to stop them. The Fantastic Four narrowly escape through the collapsing rift, but Terrax's cosmic axe embeds in the ship as they jump. Their ship crash lands in the Wakandan highlands, triggering massive energy spikes. Excuse me. The wreckage is immediately investigated by Shuri, now Queen of Wakanda and one of the most advanced scientific minds in the world. With her are the Midnight Angels and Everett Ross, now back in Wakandan
The Midnight
custody.
Angels we're getting, okay. Those terrible outfits again.
Shuri quickly realizes this team, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben, isn't from their universe. Reed, trying to make sense of the new world, is astounded by Wakandan technology. He also senses something dangerous in the ship, residual multiversal energy from Galactus. Meanwhile, Terrax, thought to be destroyed in the jump, begins regenerating deep under the earth, drawing from vibranium veins and ancient energies once worshipped by Wakandan ancestors. What did I say?
Not vibranium. You said something else.
I might have yawned again mid-sentence. At the same time, an unknown energy surge pulses globally. In New York, Doctor Strange notices a ripple in the mirror dimension. In Westview, Billy Maximoff wakes from a dream, drawing magical sigils in his sleep.
This is like Avengers 2.0 or like 5.0 or whatever, you know?
In Canada, a rugged man with claws feels a cosmic tremor.
God.
In space, Nick Fury detects gravitational anomalies near Earth's moon. Because he's up on the space station, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Back in Wakanda, Reed bonds with Shuri, two minds tackling the greatest challenge of all, stopping Galactus. They realize that Galactus has mutated, feeding on the fabric of the multiverse itself. He's approaching the MCU Earth, drawn by the Fantastic Four's energy signature, but there's another twist. Victor Von Doom, ruler of the hidden nation of Latveria, reveals himself. In this reality, Doom has already been preparing for this incursion. Using ancient Sokovian magic, vibranium, and scavenged Stark technology, Doom has built a device to bend the multiverse to his will, and he offers Reed help, but demands access to their ship's power core in return. Reed refuses, and Doom kidnaps Sue and begins siphoning the energy himself. But the power is tainted, infected by Galactus' essence. Meanwhile, Shuri and Johnny and Ben lead a daring rescue mission into Latveria with help from Wong, a slingering portal. They free Sue, but Doom, corrupted by the cosmic energy, becomes a dark conduit momentarily linked to Galactus himself. Galactus arrives, not physically, but as a manifestation in the upper atmosphere, bending the sky and shifting gravity. His voice echoes across minds. This world is not yours. It was never meant to last. In the climactic final battle, Reed and Shuri create a multiversal deflector using Wakandan tech and Reed's core drive. Johnny goes Nova, pushing back Galactus' manifestations. Jesus.
And this guy was like, I didn't say vibranium wrong. Yeah, come on.
Ben, in a moment of sacrifice, destroys Doom's unstable reactor, seemingly vaporizing himself. Silver energy descends. The Silver Surfer, freed from Galactus' control, helps Reed open a gate to redirect Galactus into an uninhabited, dying universe. Galactus retreats, but not defeated. He evolves, becoming a new entity of pure multiversal entropy. The aftermath, the Fantastic Four are now stranded in the main MCU. Reed offers to work with Shuri and Bruce Banner. Sue visits Wanda's old cabin in search of Billy. Johnny bonds with Peter Parker at a science fair. A vibranium statue of Ben Grimm is erected in Wakanda.
So, first Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, they're killing Ben Grimm off.
Yes. Silver Surfer stays behind the MCU. Charles Xavier sends telepathic visions to Sue. America Chavez shows up at the ruins of the Rift Gate. Something else is coming through and it's angry. Interesting. So there you go. You got a whole bunch of people there. Post credits.
It's an Avengers movie.
We open on the shattered remains of a city, buildings floating in space, gravity warped, colors bleeding unnaturally. The skyline looks vaguely like New York, but twisted, glitching in and out of existence. A lone figure walks among the debris, wearing a tattered cloak. We see a robotic hand, fractured but powerful. It's a Kang variant. They keep going back to Kang. Bleeding, limping, muttering equations to himself. Time is folding. They're not fixing it. They're making it worse.
Did ChatGPT say who was playing Kang?
No,
Can you
not
ask
yet.
that after?
I will.
Because I forgot we used to ask it who would direct some of this stuff. So I have to ask who's playing King. I'm just curious.
Okay. As he reaches a broken monument, Avengers Tower, split in two, he pulls out a glowing orb filled with flickering silhouettes of multiversal beings. One resembles a god, another a mutant, one looks like Doctor Doom. Suddenly, a portal opens behind him, violent and unstable, and a figure walks through calmly. Silver boots, pale skin, no face, presence. The Beyonder is his name.
Oh,
You're too
okay.
late, Kang. Your time has passed. Now comes the age of judgment. Kang raises a weapon from the TVA. You don't understand the variables, the incursions, the convergence. If they meet, it's not war, it's annihilation. The Beyonder smiles. As the void bends to his whim, behind him, Deadpool steps through wide-eyed. Okay, definitely not Canada, Deadpool says. The Beyonder turns his back, facing Deadpool.
I
You were
hate when
chosen.
ChatGPT talks like as Deadpool. I hate when that happens.
You were chosen for your chaos. Now let's break the board. The Beyonder reaches out, touching the fractured orb in Kang's hand. It dissolves into sparks, and all three vanish in a burst of prismatic light. Revealing the floating fragments of hundreds of alternative realities, Earth's collapsing, reforming, and bleeding into one another. One fragment stands out, a glimpse of a throne forged from wreckage, but someone sitting in the shadows. Doctor Doom. Okay.
Okay. Did you ask? Can you ask who's playing King? Just curious
Who
about that.
play Kang in your story?
Big movie, big budget. That's just Avengers, pretty much. If that were to happen down that way.
Okay. To match the tone from previous projects, the actor playing him would ideally still be Jonathan Majors, originally cast. But if the MCU recast Kang for continuity or legal reasons, a strong alternative would be Reggae Jean Page,
Oh no! Oh my!
Bridgerton or the Gray Man. I need to see a photo of this guy.
He's from Dungeons and Dragons. He plays like the
yeah.
Drax-like character. No,
That's ChatGPT's pick.
ChatGPT.
Why him? It says why him.
Yeah.
He brings intense sexual charisma, British education.
Wait a second. Why? Well, that's nothing we need with Kang.
That's what Kang means. Intense sexual charisma.
Okay.
British educated eloquence, a quiet menace. His Kang would be elegant, refined, terrifyingly patient, and emotionally devastating when seducing or destroying.
Wow. Yeah. No, I'll just say not a fan of that pick.
In the story, he appears shirtless beneath a flowing purple cloak, eyes glowing subtly with temporal energy. His voice is smooth like honey, but tinged with threat. He doesn't just want to rule time. He wants to possess those who threaten it, body and mind.
That's to fuck you in time. All right. Thanks, ChatGPT. Well, we'll see. I don't think we're gonna get that, but I think we'll get some surprise appearances and whatnot. So, yeah, Fab GPT, absolutely. Yeah, well, no, I was gonna say, I guess because it's not in the MCU, we shouldn't be getting any surprise. It's on the MCU, and they said there's no heroes there other than them, right? So, we shouldn't be getting any stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully it's a good time. We'll be reviewing it next week. Hopefully in Dubbo. Hopefully get some cool action set pieces and cool stuff with their powers. So, we will see. But we're gonna take our second ad break, and we'll be right back. And we are back. So we're going to talk about a little few DC updates and whatnot. So we're going to start off with Wonder Woman here. But I have to ask you, because people have been throwing this around lately, I suppose put in the Discord. And what do you feel about... So right now, Superman, we're going to talk about Superman with you a little bit, the box office and everything like that. But Superman came out, and, that's what's happening right now. There's a report that said, hey, there's no sequel that's imminent right now. Not that's not going to happen, but and Gunn's also kind of hinted that he might be working on something that has Superman, but not Superman 2. We've talked about whether it's World Finest or Justice League, whatever it may be. But in this article from Variety, and this is like, S tier, saying that as of right now, currently, Wonder Woman is being... fast-tracked, which funny kind of sat into the conversation Kirkland and I had because we were talking about that right now. Okay, Superman came out, and then for movies, never mind with TV shows, but for movies, you have Supergirl in July, and you have Clayface in October, and then you have a bunch of stuff on the slate like a Swamp Thing or a Brave and the Bold, but nothing's really dated yet, right? And we were talking about like what big movie could you put there, and we were saying like, oh, it's probably either Wonder Woman or Batman. But the problem with Batman is in 2027 in October, that's when hopefully the Batman 2 comes out. So to me, this would make a lot of sense. But what do you think about? I'll ask you this question in a second. But what do you think about this? Do you think this would be a right move as far as, because obviously they've announced and said some other things like a Swamp Thing or whatnot. But do you think it's probably a right move that they should be maybe getting one of their bigger characters there, or do you think they should keep kind of just put out that initial slate they put out and then get to Wonder Woman? Like, where are you on this as far as it being fast tracked?
Oh yeah. I mean, I know James Gunn loves doing those little side projects, right? Like, not everyone has seen Creature Commandos, but
No.
that is taking place in the same universe, right? So, yeah, it's tricky. I feel like they should run with this theme that they got, and they stick to these heavy hitters, these main characters. So to me, it makes sense for them to do that.
Yeah.
More so than them tackling someone a little bit smaller. Not everyone's gonna know Swamp Thing. Not everyone's gonna know all the other side characters.
Authority,
but yeah,
Sergeant Rock.
the Authority. That's the one that I was trying to remember because that's the one
Yeah.
that got canceled, right?
They've never said. It's just kind of rumored. They just said that they had a movie with lots of scripts and that it's not going forward. So it could be that. Could be Sergeant Rock. Who knows? But the engineer was supposed to be in The Authority, who was in Superman, but obviously that movie's not happening right now.
Right. Yeah, and at the end of the day, James Gunn is good at just pairing up characters we're not really familiar with. Again, I have no pre-existing concept of Mr. Terrific or Guy Gardner or anything like that. But when you watch a Superman movie, it's like, okay, I don't need to know a lot of backstory. I'm getting it, and I can just jump on board with this narrative. So James Gunn is good at doing that with characters. But that being said, I'd still rather just focus on someone we're all familiar with, because if you don't get Superman in like a Wonder Woman movie, for example, it still is exciting, and you feel like, okay, well, this is still one of the big cheese Justice League members. This is going to lead us to Superman again, so you can still feel like in spirit Superman is present.
Yes. And I feel like, yeah, whatever's you got going on with Superman, you got that going on. Who knows? If they're doing a World's Finest or something, then sure. But to me, let's say Matt Reeves' Batman 2 is happening, what do you think about this quote? Apparently in this article, they said that Warner Brothers is thrilled with the Batman 2 script. Or, sorry, DC Studios. You believe that? And I will say on the Superman press tour, James Gunn has talked a lot about Matt Reeves' Batman. He's not ever once mentioned Andy Muschietti and his Batman, really. So it might be a good sign there, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I still think that there's a chance that you see them throw this Batman in with James Gunn's universe. I think that there's the potential, because they were talking about stuff like that, never say never kind of a thing, but I think it could happen. And again, too, if it keeps doing good, then heck, maybe they offer Matt Reeves a position up there with James Gunn and working on these DC projects.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he's doing that. I don't know about that. He's producing some stuff there, but so hopefully that is true, that they're thrilled with it, and I hope they just continue on. If James Gunn lets Matt Reeves finish his trilogy, then I'll be a very happy camper. And even if there's stuff like Superman that I don't love, I'll give it a big pass. But like, you know what? You let him finish that off. You didn't have to. You could have cut him. Why are you laughing? What you laughing?
Because the only reason, the next Superman could be a terrible, terrible movie, and you're like, oh, I'll give it a pass because you let Matt Reeves finish this trilogy.
I'm not saying I'll give it a pass. Like, I'll actually pass the movie. I just won't be upset. I'll be upset if it's like we got rid of the Batman trilogy and then we got this bad Superman movie. It's the same reason I said before. When Jared Leto came back as a Joker for Snyder Cut, I wasn't mad because we had just got Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. So it's like, oh, I got a great Joker right here. Yeah, sure, bring him back. And, that scene wasn't half bad. So I think, let's say if that does happen, and I've said this a few times, but Wonder Woman is perfect because let's say we're going to let Matt Reeves do his thing, and we are going to do Brave and the Bold. We are going to do our own Batman. We're going to stick to our word. If the Batman 2 comes out, as we know, Matt Reeves is a little bit slower at times. Like, that's not a bad thing, just the way he works. Let's say which I think is fucking crazy. But let's say the Batman 2 comes out and then we don't get Batman 3 for another 5 years, because that's what it's going to be like, right? Or yeah, it is, because the first one came out in 2022 and then this come out in 2027. That's 5 years. So let's say we don't get the Batman 3 till 2032, which to me is fucking nuts. In 10 years to get that, but I digress. Then to me, that's almost perfect as far as, okay, you started with Superman, you do some other side characters, Supergirl that's connected, Clayface, smaller budget, whatever. And then now you did that year smaller characters. You're back to your big characters. You do Wonder Woman, because they're already doing a Batman movie with Pattinson. Don't do that. And the good thing is that you do Wonder Woman, the Batman 2 comes out, does whatever it does, and then let's say if you have 5 years, that's the perfect time. That's when you do your Batman movie. You shove it in like the middle of that, of like, okay, let's say Matt's going to take 5 years. We'll let the Batman come out in 27. We'll let a year cool off, and then in 2028, 29, we put out our Batman. And then by time Matt Reeves does his third, if that happens, and let's say even then, let's say people prefer, let's say it's Glenn Powell. He's Batman, and people go, oh, I like this Batman better. Even if Matt Reeves' Batman movie, like the third one, kind of disappoints, it's like, well, that's the end. So it doesn't matter. It's going out already. So I think it's a perfect scenario. And when it's fast-tracked, I hope it still just means that, hey, we really want to get Wonder Woman out. Let's finish these scripts and make sure they're good, and then move on to the next thing. Not like a classic, well, let's just rush to it and get it out there. I hope that just means that's the top project. And I think it's time now. I think we're in a good spot. Like, this is what I'm going to bring up to you, this tweet that's been going around from August 10th, 2023 from Discussing Film. Gal Gadot says, James Gunn and Peter Safran told her in a meeting that you're in the best hands. We're going to develop Wonder Woman 3 with you. We love you as Wonder Woman. You got nothing to worry about. If I and this is a tough situation, we don't know these people. Taylor, if I ask you, because clearly something's wrong here, so either they had this meeting, and in my opinion, James Gunn and Saffron just lied to her face, and I get it, you had to do that, you had to deal with those old DC people and then try to wait, or Gal Gadot is just making up this fucking meeting. What do you think's happening here?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's she said, he said, vice versa. Like, how do you really know what the truth is here, right? It's like it's kind of tough to say. I feel like there's something along the lines of truth to be had where James Gunn says, like you're safe and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I could see that not being the case, because I feel like James Gunn likes to go in, start recreating and doing his own thing. But look at the Suicide Squad. He pulled a lot of those returning characters when he didn't have to, unless the head honchos were like, no, you have to pull back, like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, all these other things. And then so he's coming along trying to get like his Polka Dot Man, and all these other characters in there. I feel like he's a man who really likes having the creative control over his projects. So that being said, I feel like, okay, it is his say whether or not Gal Gadot would be coming back or not. It's just it's a weird thing.
And people got to remember, because I don't think she's lying, but I could see her kind of like fluffing some of the information. And people got to remember where it's tough that he's in a situation, because we can look back. We've always talked about the Matt Reeves stuff or other stuff he said, James Gunn said this, but then what actually happened maybe wasn't that true, or it seems there's something iffy. But he's already done that multiple times before when this was happening, right? The transition. And if people don't remember, when he got the gig, they still had Flash to come out, Aquaman, Blue Beetle, like Shazam. And don't forget, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot was in Shazam too. And was in Flash. Like, she was in, remember, she helped save.
Oh, right. She had a few scenes in Shazam too.
So that's where it's like, no, she's just the one. You're thinking of Jaimin Hunsu when he's yeah. But that's the thing. Remember that scene when like Shazam wakes up and Jaimin Hunsu's like, yeah. But she had a few scenes. And again, I think he's in the situation of, what if Shazam 2 is massive? And what if Flash is massive? I can't just say we're for sure getting rid of you or those characters, right? That's the tough thing. So I think he did have to play ball a little bit, but the second those movies didn't really do well, it was very easy to go, you know what? I can just kind of, plans change. That's all you got to say is plans change. We were supposed to be doing a superhero draft tonight. No, Kirkland got a migraine, plans change. So I think it's a good step. I think it's the right step. I think it's time. I think for a multitude of reasons, I think the bandage can be pulled off, and I don't think there's going to be even that much blood. I think Gal Gadot has had some had some issues in the public, whether it's her acting or whether it's her very, very big time political views, which don't have to be expressed in certain situations. Not going to get into it, but I feel like there's times where you gotta you gotta walk a thin line if there's a certain thing you believe, especially when other people's lives are on the line, not yours, who's sitting in America very cozy right now. So I don't think, don't get me wrong, I know there's times where we've done casts and people have been in our comments saying like, oh, you can't recast, but I think that's a very easy recast now. So we'll see what happens. So, and then I was gonna throw a Taylor, but no, empty chair right now. Detail says she's the worst on social media. Yeah, it's stuff like that, right? And I think that's where people can easily more part ways with somebody when they don't enjoy them personally. I guarantee you, Detail, and for all of us, there are dozens and dozens of actors and actresses that if we met them in real life, knew their views, their values, we go like, man, this person's a piece of shit. But we still watch the movies and love it, right? Like there's a separation between the art and the artist. So that's what you could do there. But I think it does make it easier when you don't love the person. And as Bubs is right, certain views that are the opposite of the ones shown by James Gunn with the story told in Superman. And yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's little awkward there, right? But I was going to ask you this question before we could get on the next thing with Superman. Obviously, we've talked about things, but what do you think with Wonder Woman? Are we going to get a no name or are we going to get a star?
Oh my gosh, this is another thing that's tricky because I feel like the past few projects James Gunn has had people pop in that I think the studio, before he had that position of power, he was just directing like the Suicide Squad. I think he got to mingle it up and mix it up. We got people that he likes to bring into the projects, and then people that the studio want to bring in. I think it's the same thing with Guardians. I think Guardians was a good display of like, okay, here's some people that I want in, and some people the studio wants to put in there. So when it comes to this, I don't know who or how many people are in his inner circle, but I think he's got complete control over who he wants to put in here, and I think he's gonna get someone who's probably. Like, is Palm Clementif count as like a big star, main star, or like she more close?
I think
to, like,
she's
the nobody
no.
tier?
I don't think she's. So I more mean the sense would it be someone like Dan Cornsweet where it's like, oh yeah, he was in Pearl, but like he wasn't in anything.
I'd say
major
that's
where,
what they're gonna do.
yeah, someone like
Yeah.
that where because Palm Clementif, I wouldn't say she's a big star, but you could list off. Well, she's been in Mission Impossible, she's been in Guardians, she's been in Black Mirror. Like you can list multiple things where with David Cornsweet, everybody maybe knew like. Luckily, maybe knew one project he had been in, right? So you think it's be something like that? Yeah, Twisters.
I think it'll
yeah.
be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I really don't know. I could see them getting a no name for that, especially it helps with budgets, right? If they want to keep that stuff down, that's the way to build up. And I think it helps to the better Superman continues to do, the more likely they will say, yeah, get a no name because Dave Cornsweet was a no name, right? I still think that Batman will be a name. If you look at all the Batmen, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson. The lowest person on that list was Christian Bale. Even George Clooney was a part of ER, a very popular show. Christian Bale was an up-and-coming actor, but those other people were all A-list people before they got Batman, and that's why I still think also, I think it helps counter Robert Pattinson. I think if you get another big star, if you get like Robert Pattinson versus a no-name, somebody will go, who's that guy? Or if they have to pick, it's like, well, I don't really care about this guy because like I know Robert Pattinson, I like his Batman, right? But
Yeah.
I think they got to get someone, even though people at first, I was not against it, but even though people at first, when Ben Affleck were announced, were heavily against it, people were still curious how it was going to play out. I think that's why Batman's going to be a name because you're going to get that curiosity of people that want to check it out. So,
Right.
but yeah, talking about Superman doing well, it's been an interesting couple days here for Superman. So Superman came out, made $125 million at the worldwide box office, and that was 22 or something worldwide, or sorry, at the domestic, the first one, and then now 222 worldwide. And that was the story where it did very well domestic, third biggest opening of the year, but its international numbers were a bit lacking, coming in under expectations. It didn't beat Man of Steel's opening weekend. It didn't beat the Batman. But then what's interesting, Taylor, is the whole, so the Tuesday and Wednesday for Superman were the biggest
Yeah, I've been reading that.
Yeah, we're the biggest of the year, and the Monday wasn't, but the only reason one was bigger is Lilo and Stitch came out on Memorial Day, so it was a holiday. So if you look at non-holidays, Superman had the biggest Monday. So that's like 3 separate records right there. And then even then, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday beat the Batman. So it's kind of funny that the Batman had a better opening weekend, but now throughout the weekday, Superman's having a better weekday. The thing that helps Batman is he did much better like international, so I think there's just like a bigger hero there. But yeah, what are your thoughts now? Because you were on the lower end when we did our predictions. You said it was gonna be like 100 100 or to 105 million, and now it opened at 125, so about 25 million more. And now like best Tuesday, best Wednesday, best non-holiday Monday, like it's having these very good legs. And now it's all about, we've talked about this many times, but it's all about the second weekend. Some people are predicting it's a 50% drop, which would be really good. There's even some people predicting that it'd be like a under 50, which like that, if it could get anywhere for, even if it's 49, that'd be massive, because so many blockbusters and especially comic movies, it's always 60 plus. So yeah, what do you take about this from? Because obviously you're somebody, I think you liked it more than you thought. What are you taking about these weekdays? And like Detail's pointing out, that maybe the word of mouth is really spreading. And how do you think it's going to do in its second weekend coming up here?
Yeah, I really liked it more than I thought I was going to. And I think that it doesn't have any competition. Like we were talking about Smurfs at the beginning. That comes out this weekend, and I think that's the only competition that this movie has.
Well, okay. So there's other movies coming out, but I don't think there's any competition. I don't think Smurfs is competition. I don't know how you forgot how that I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Is that out this weekend? That's no competition.
Yeah. And then the other movie is the Ari Aster Eddington movie, the COVID.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's not competition.
No.
I want to see it. I can't see it now because we went over the time. The next showing was at 9:40, but that's okay. There's that. I'm sorry, that movie's gonna eat it. That it's like a trippier, not trippy, but I imagine it's like a drama horror. And Ari Aster's stuff doesn't really, I think, speak to a lot of the mainstream people. And I don't think I'm alone, but I don't think people really want to watch movies about COVID right now. Like, here, pay to see them. Go to the theaters, pay to see them. If it's on Netflix, Amazon, sure. But to go out and pay to see it's like, I don't think I'm ready to go back there. It's that time frame, So, but yeah, I don't think there's real competition. So how do you think it's going to do then?
I think it's going to do very, very well. I mean, again, it's just going to come down to people wanting to go see dinosaurs, or they want to go see, superhero stuff. And I mean, Fantastic Four is still a week away, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just these two heavy hitter movies. And I think it's going to do good, because when we were seeing it that opening night, there was definitely a buzz in the air. Everyone had the shirts and stuff. Yeah, people were happy.
Oh, so. Right. There was a lot of shirts. No clapping, though. Again, we never got. I thought for sure Superman was going to applause the end, but it didn't. But so if I were to ask you, what do you think percentage drop? I want to ask you a number. What do you think percentage drop it's going to have? We live right now in the post-COVID. Lots of these big blockbusters are dropping the big 60, which hurts, because it's like you make most of your money opening weekend and you kind of go from there. But then you have something like a Sinners that had very little drops, etc. So what do you think it's going to do percentage-wise?
Oh, I think it's gonna hit that 50%.
Really? You think it's gonna be 50, like 50-ish?
I think yeah, 50-ish. I think it's gonna do good. It's gonna do really, really good.
Yeah, I think the no competition helps. I think, yeah, like it's tough, because like even Kyle, he at first was gonna be like, I don't think I'm gonna go see it, but now I think he's seeing it tonight actually. So I'll read his review on air and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there is a buzz, and I think it's just a general too of like, what's this about, right? And I think that's a good thing to build up, because I think it's more than just a Superman stuff. And I've seen tons of stuff shared on social media that I think has made people actually want to go see it. Like I had someone tell me that like just seeing the stupid monkey scene was like, oh, I found that very funny and I like that take, so I'm gonna go see it. So, and I just think that at least for Superman, Jurassic World did what it did, making money, but I don't think Jurassic World or F4, other than some post-credit things, I don't think they're going to have like as much talking pieces as Superman does. I mean, like that kind of water cooler stuff, where with Superman, because it's a new universe, new actors, I think there's a lot of like, oh, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And everything. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm with you. I think it's in the 50s. I don't think it's going to go 40. I think that's people getting really, really excited. I'm going to say 52. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. But man, if we wake up Sunday and it is in 40, that's some good stuff. Because Sinners had a much smaller box office. Like its total is under 300 million, but still, or just over, or something like that. But it's like, still was impressive it did that. So yeah, we will see. So all right, we're gonna take our last ad break, and then we'll be back with some trailers. So we'll be right back. And I lied, because you know what? I should go to some of the Patreon questions, because I know we had some about these topics. So let me just bring them up. My bad here. Let's see. Okay, so this is perfect. So I can bring up these guys right here. This is about DC, and then we got some ones with Mike talking about some trailers and some other TV shows. So that's a perfect timing. So Charlie Randall says, what are your guys' thoughts on Gunn saying the DCU is leading to an event that no one expects? The crawl at the start, Superman mentions the beginning of ages of metahumans. Would you want a villain on Earth like Vandal Savage? I know you don't know who that is, but the world's first meta, or would you want something cosmic like Blackest Night? I know you wouldn't know what that is, but
No idea.
What would you prefer as far as like, obviously we don't know the pitch, because he keeps saying, hey, his thing is he says he doesn't want to say it out loud because people are going to steal the idea, which has happened before. But for you, let's say it's like Justice League or just the first DC crossover movie, would you rather it be kind of a Earth-based, even if it's a metahuman, but like Lex Luthor and a metahuman or something like that? Or would you rather us going up to like a Thanos level? Again, not necessarily maybe like a snap, but you know what I mean, as far as like, you want it more Earth-based or more cosmic-based, like Charlie's asking?
I would say more Earth-based. I mean, we're going to be getting some cosmic stuff periodically, like with the Lantern show and whatnot. So I think something Earth-based is good. Just because they did that one kind of like, versus a human on Earth kind of a storyline doesn't mean they can't redo it and just kind of change up that formula a little bit. I wouldn't want it to be exactly like if, another Lex Luthor kind of scenario.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm kind of game for either or. It's tough because like James Gunn did all those Guardians movies, right? So I could easily see it being cosmic. I easily could see Green Lanterns being a setup because there's many of them out there. But I did like on our Weekly Geek, Mike pitched, and we've talked about this before about doing. Oh my God, what is the? Oh God, I'm forgetting the team bad guys. Anyone in the comments tell me? What are the bad guys called? Something villains. There's a group of bad guys in DC. They get together. It's the main ones. But he had pitched like, what if the idea is a bunch of, it's like League of Villains or League of something, I don't know. But like, what if the idea is a bunch of villains teaming together to fight the Justice League or whatever? I do like that because I've said this before. We've never gotten a like the Avengers versus a team of villains, the Thunderbolts versus a team of villains. Like no one pulled that card. I thought that was a layup in Marvel and DC that at some point they're going to do a movie where a bunch of of villains team up and fight the heroes, and they never did. So I would like that. So I guess I'm on the Earth-based side, but I kind of trust Gunn either way. So we'll see. Let's see. Charlie Randall also asks, what are the chances Peacemaker joins the Justice League team by the end of the Gods and Monsters chapter? There you go. The Legion of Doom. Thank you very much. So that would be the bad guys. Crime Syndicate. That's one. That's more of the guys that fight the Flash because they're like lower tier. But I bet in a Flash movie we'll get that. But yeah, what do you think, Taylor? How would you feel if Peacemaker ended up on the Justice League squad?
I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't. I feel
Would you like that? Would that interest you?
It would interest me, but I feel like the moment that you put him on there, I think it just means that you're going to be getting this certain level of humor consistently throughout.
Yes.
I don't remember many slow emotional moments in that first season of Peacemaker. I'm sure there are some, but I can't really pinpoint it.
Like, remember he kills a big character off that's close to him? That's a big moment.
Oh, yeah.
He cries.
Yeah, that's true.
He's pretty emotional because that character's connected to him. So there's a couple.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't want that. We talked about it a little bit on Weekly Geek, me and Kirkland. I've said this before. The only way I want him in a Justice League movie is the same way in the Guardians were in Infinity War, where they're in the movie, but they are not officially on the Guardians team. I'm completely down if in the movie Justice League they have to work with Peacemaker, and that fucking sucks because who wants to work with Peacemaker? But I don't know if I would want him on the squad. I feel like making him a key character to the DCU, putting him in the Justice League, that feels too much like the jokes about Gunn nepotism, but that feels like it's nepotism for his character. Of like, well, I love Peacemaker and I brought him over, so he's going to be on the Justice League. No, and I think that's what makes Peacemaker kind of special too, because you had what happened season 1, And we don't know exactly what happens in season 2, but in season 2, he's doing that interview with Guy Gardner and Maxwell Lord and Hawkgirl and everything. And obviously, he doesn't get on the Justice Gang, right? It's similar to what Ryan Reynolds has said about Deadpool. It's like Deadpool can never be on the Avengers or the X-Men because the second you do that, he's achieved his goal. He would be happy, and you need that character to strive for something. So it's like if Peacemaker gets put on Justice League, it's like, well, what's the point of him? You know, like I feel like he's just like an arrogant asshole that's just like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, but like you can do the other. You like Guy Gardner's right there already, right? So, it absolutely guns Ahsoka. It is very much like Dave Filoni will put Ahsoka in anything. If Peacemaker is the keyer in Justice League, that would be his. Who do you think Kevin Feige's is? Because I feel like he hasn't talked as much with Filoni and Gunn. We don't know, but who do you think's the character that secretly like he loves and has been like in the last like phase 5 is someone were to say, hey, that's his guy. We'd be like, oh, you know what? That makes sense.
Hugh Jackman.
Well, no, because Hugh Jackman just got in the MCU. I'm saying, what's the character you think he kept working in there to bring back? Like, oh, make sure that guy's in there.
Oh man. Like from the very, very start, or am I starting? You said phase 5.
No, I mean like anywhere from now and on. And chat, let me know if you got any suggestions. I'm trying to think, like who's a character that's always popped up in. Well, I know it's dumb, but it's probably just Iron Man, right? He popped.
That
in
was
Civil
my
War.
thought. That was
he
my
popped
thought.
up in Spider-Man. You know.
Yeah.
So, Howard the Duck even got him an Endgame battle. See, I would believe that, but like. They've done nothing with Howard the Duck. I was expecting him to at least be a member of the Guardians, and that never happened. So that's annoying. Superman Mike says Wong. Yeah, you could make the case for that, especially in the Disney Plus shows. He was in a lot of those, right? So
Yeah, he was.
that's a good answer. So, all right. So let's talk about this last picture in question and then some trailers. So Mike asks, Superman Mike says, which of the following upcoming TV or big shows are you guys most excited for? Peacemaker, Alien Earth, Stranger Things, Gen V. Feel free to rank them if you watch them all. I guess if obviously we'll talk about some of those trailers. Maybe we'll do the TV ones first. Taylor, give me a ranking of Peacemaker, Alien, Stranger Things, Gen V, from excited to most excited to least.
So Alien Earth is probably at the number 1. Ares, that trailer definitely was.
No, just the TV shows.
Oh, just the TV shows.
No, the
Oh, sorry.
trailers.
Stranger Things. I say
he
Stranger
didn't
Things
ask us
is
the Natty
next.
specials. Yeah.
Yeah. Stranger Things would be next.
Yeah.
And sorry, what were the other two?
Peacemaker and Gen V.
Peacemaker and Gen V. I probably put Gen V at the bottom and Peacemaker right after that. Like in excitement. So
Wow.
Gen V is 4, Peacemaker's
Okay, yeah, I
3,
see. Yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah, this is tough because we'll talk about the. I think Gen V is 4th for me. I think it's a little bit of like didn't love that last season of The Boys, and I think I'm just more curious. I feel Gen V did a very good job, and I really enjoyed that show. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they are still a bit more of a box than the other two. I think I would go Gen V, Peacemaker. Like I definitely put Stranger Things at top because I'm not like other people that are like, oh, it's been so long. Like I don't even care anymore. It's like, no, I still care. Like I like all those characters. Sure, they look a little older. Whatever. I'm invested to see how the story goes. Peacemaker and Alien Earth is a big toss up because that trailer we're talking about today, I've said this before the multiple times. I've seen posters and teasers, and then we got that one other trailer. And I just said, like, I love Noah Hawley, love Legion, so no matter what, I know the show's going to be good. It's going to be slow, but it's going to be good. But nothing had hit me yet to get me really excited. The trailer that came out today, that was a superb trailer. I'm very excited for Alien Earth now. Like, that felt, other than some shots of them on the planet, but that felt like cinematic as far as, like, the movie, right?
And the score, too, that they used, that track was really cool.
Yeah, so that got me up a lot. Also, it's like, I love that trailer, and I love Noah Hawley, but I think with Peacemaker, there's going to be some really interesting DCU stuff. Whether I like it or not, I don't know. And that's where I feel like it's tough. So I guess gun to my head, I'll put Alien Earth at second because I'm just a bit more curious about where Peacemaker we've already gone, right? So other than it being a new universe, we kind of know what it's going to happen for the most part, but that'll be fun to see those rankings after the fact. But yeah, Alien Earth, being talked about that trailer first, yeah, absolutely loved it. Very excited to see where they go. I love the setup, like very easy plot of, this had 5 species and now it's Crash and they're going to try and catch them all. But no, I'm very excited. I think those are going to be some very interesting show or reviews, because we've never had like an Alien, like we did the Alien Retro and Predator Retro, but this is a TV show, not a movie, right? So
yeah, that's right.
and I'm gonna be very curious to see the pace, and I'm gonna be curious to see what they do with the canon. Gonna be curious to see how other people take the show. Like the Alien one, for the most part, I think it, like I said, I think when they looked on the planet or on the planet, looked a little cheap, but the stuff in place and the stuff in space and the stuff in the ship were looking good. So yeah, how are you feeling of this Alien Earth trailer?
I think it looked fantastic. And just the idea that they're actually crashing on Earth. And I mean, we already know that the alien hasn't been found, I guess, according to company records, if you look at Aliens, because they don't know what that thing is. But then it's hard to know how this fits in the timeline with David going off on his mission and creating these eggs. And I think it comes down to something that I read where they were talking about how no matter what, the evolutionary line of this black goo is just ultimately going to the xenomorph, this creature. So whether or not David created the eggs, that's one thing, but I don't think it has an effect on humanity finding eggs elsewhere and then bringing those eggs on this ship with 5 other different alien species. And I keep seeing like photos drop for one of the alien species, which really grosses me out. It's like an eyeball or no, so it's like these tentacles, they go into you and they latch onto your eye and use your eye to like look. It looked like that's just me gauging what the photos looked like. I could be completely wrong, but just the idea that too, I was reading an article where they were talking about how you watch that first Alien and you can't replicate that, just the grossness of this thing's life cycle. And so what they were doing with this show is they want to repeat that process but make it new. So they're not giving you just like how the alien's life cycle is, but you're getting this with the other creatures that are involved here. It's going to be gross and freaky and everything, and I'm just really excited for it. I'm excited to see how it's going to build off of everything else we got in this universe so far.
Yeah. No, I'm curious. I can't wait. August 22nd. It's just a month away, Taylor. So, and this felt very alien heavy, but again, I'm prepping everybody. Holly likes to take his time with the shows. They end up always having a good crescendo, but just give it time, people. If it's a little slow, who knows? But
that final shot of the trailer with the alien in the cavern just was spooky.
Yeah. And then on the other one Mike mentioned, Stranger Things season 5, the final one. Obviously, we're getting this release schedule of November, December, and then New Year's Eve. Don't know the run times. There's rumors that lots of these episodes are like 2.5 hours, but no, thought it was great. I love Stranger Things. I think there's a variety of like the seasons, but I'm in the camp that the last season was the best one, and I think all the seasons, I don't think there's any season that's like below a 9 for me, which I think is pretty good for a TV show, and I think they're ending at a good point here. I'll say no, it's been a long time, but if you think about the show, it's just like it's only been, not only, but it's been 5 seasons, right? It's not a show that's gone on. It's weird because it's gone on long, but it's not like in season 8 or 9. But no, I thought this was a great trailer. Love that build to Vecna, like the song choice, like the visuals, like everything. And I think they did a great job of. I know it sounds dumb, but some people don't always do the best when marketing things. I think they did a great job of actually making us feel like it's the final season, not just saying, "Oh, it's the final season," just like the situations they're putting the characters in and the situations they're showing us, it feels like it has that stakes of, okay, we might actually lose some people this time. So, no, I'm very excited. We'll see what that release schedule is, and maybe we'll do some reviews for it because we've reviewed every other season, a variety of us. But, no, I thought this was a great trailer. I actually don't need to see any more. I don't know if there'll be another one, but I'm excited to see where it all goes and how we end up.
Yeah, I mean, considering we're getting 3 parts, right? Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. The trailer really, really got me more excited, and seeing Vecna and seeing everything else, like it just looks like, okay, the city is kind of under quarantine. They're just doing these routine like portal burning sessions or something just to keep things contained. But yeah, it looks like it's just going to be off the rails.
Tentacle-y this time too.
Yeah, he's evolved like Galactus, that's for sure. I can't
How long
wait.
do you think the time jump is? Think they're gonna do like in show like it's been a couple years? Or think they're gonna be like it's gonna be a couple months? Because obviously they're not picking up right after, right? So
I mean, if the town is gated off and set up for this quarantine kind of thing, like it could be a couple years. I'd probably say at least a year minimum.
okay, this year, okay. All right, what other trailers do we have here? I'll hit you with this one. What did you think about After the Hunt?
After the Hunt.
Or do you not watch that one? The Andrew Garfield one? Julia Roberts?
No, I missed that one. And I swear that you wrote Wednesday in here too.
Nope.
Oh no, I was
That
misreading.
just popped up.
Oh,
What,
okay.
what did you misread? What did you...
I miss. Okay, so what I watched was I watched Mortal Kombat, Alien Earth, Red Sonja, Stranger Things, and Tron Ares. I didn't watch Hoppers because
Oh, man.
that one went over my head as I didn't watch that one. But you can speak to that and After the Hunt.
After the Hunt looks very interesting. It's Julia Roberts, Ariana Berry, and Andrew Garfield, and they're like at a college, and it's Andrew Garfield plays this very looks like verbose, kind of asshole teacher. So then they don't show in the trailer what's true or not, but she insinuates that he assaults her, and it's a whole movie that Julia Roberts is in the middle of, a colleague she's very close to and a student of hers, and it seems like it's like a back and forth to like who did what and everything like that, I feel like they're trying to insinuate of just because you don't like a person, you maybe shouldn't assume that they just did that crime, right? And they're not saying he didn't do the crime. It's just that situation of it looks bad for him because in the real world, he's looks like he's kind of an asshole, right? But it's like just because you're an asshole doesn't mean you're an assaulter. But that's kind of the situation. But then Ayo Berry kind of hints at some stuff about Julia Roberts' past. It's like, well, I thought because your past you could help me, and she's like, well, what about my past? And they cut away, and it's like, oh, what's going on there? It's the same guy that did Call Me by Your Name, Challengers, Queer. There's another one in there. The guy that was doing Sergeant Rock, Luca Guadagnino. So I'm looking it looks like it's going to be a very intense, heavy movie dealing with a lot of those situations of people. You should definitely believe women and their claims, but at the same time you have to look into them and do your the studying, but at the same time you got to have those in the right hands, because we've seen many people that take a look at these investigations and they're not the right sources to be doing these, and it's like, did they really do this or did they just not? Because they even say this in the trailer. One girl just says like, oh, why couldn't she just like put up with it like we used to? And it's like, well, that's not the way it should be, right? But there's many systems that do that. Hoppers, I don't know what the plot is, but I know what the plot is. I don't know what the story is. Taylor, the plot was that for some reason humans are putting their brains into animals and controlling the animals.
It's like a form of protest, right? To like save the forest.
Something like that. Yeah. In the story, they didn't show that much. I actually was really enjoying the trailer, but then they do this thing where there's a bear that's about to eat an animal, and the person that's our main character is like, no, don't do that. And it's a whole discussion between our main character, who's like a beaver or whatever, or like a hamster, I don't know what he is, a bear, and the animal is going to eat, and of why the bear should eat him. And it's just a full like 45 seconds. It's like a dialogue scene of that, it's supposed to be jokes, but like it kind of killed it for me. So I don't know. I'm excited to go. I think it's on the Elio movie, so when I see it with the girls, but it looks like it has some potential, and they were really hitting hard of like from the people that gave you Inside Out 2, and they went like Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4. They're really trying to make it known, like, hey, if you like these movies, because obviously their original stuff have been struggling. So, no, it actually looked cute. So I'm very excited to see that. But on the other Disney front, Tron Ares, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, this is one that I was really confused on, because when we saw the trailer last time, they didn't give us any information. So going into this trailer, I was like, okay, so what do we got? And okay, it's just they brought the grid to the real world. They can fabricate their own
to use as a weapon. Who would have thunk? The government using this power thing as a weapon. Yeah.
I think there's some cool stuff in here, but it's going to be interesting to see how this builds off of the second one. But I guess it makes sense because Olivia Wilde's character probably paved the way for them to be able to do this use this technology, right? Because she came out of the game. So if
I don't know, I only saw it once a long time ago, so that's why if we potentially do retro or not, I don't remember both Trons that well.
Okay, well, yeah, she gets out with help, so they get her out, and so it makes sense.
Spoilers.
Where here they're able to replicate and create these grid people in the real world, but just seeing
they're like disposable soldiers, because that's Evan Peters' pitch, right? Of like, oh, he's cold, he's super strength, all this stuff, and then when he dies, I'll just bring him right back. So it's just kind of like instead of using your people, it's just always using the same guy again and again, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how Leto's gonna do as this guy.
Are you excited?
I mean, you know, you never know what you're gonna get with him, but the trailer definitely made it seem like he's staying pretty calm and pretty chill and nothing too
Pretty
zany. So,
boring.
well, I mean, he's a computer
I,
program, so I think it fits. He's a computer soldier.
yeah, but Jeff Bridges, it was a computer program. He's got some charisma, you know.
I would say like
Even if it's evil charisma.
Clue definitely had that evil charisma, but it worked
Yeah.
because it was Jeff Bridges with Jeff Bridges.
But that's that's the problem, Taylor. Is like Jeff Bridges has he's just a character in himself. Jared Leto, I know I got my issues. I've not liked many things Jared Leto has done, especially some of the personal stuff that's finally come to light, which is like interesting to see, I guess, see how it impacts this movie. But I just feel like every time the trailer cut to him, it doesn't matter if it's Jared Leto how I feel him, just this character and the vibe he was giving off, I was bored. I was like, man, this trailer, especially there's that shot. This is why I'm still seeing this movie, because visually, there's that shot where, let's say it's just in New York, it's from like a bird's eye view, and it's all like the streams of the bikes and stuff, but it's just in the sky of New York, and it's like dozens of these bikes and everything. Like the visual effects and the kind of incorporation of the Tron world with the real world, it's just looking so good. And again, they even pumped it up. Nine Inch Nails like doing original music. Anytime that hit this, I was like, I was juicing. Everything looks great in this, and I don't even mind that plot line of like using these soldiers because they're dispendable. But just anytime we went to like, well, there's something I have to do, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have to do it. And I guess it's insinuating he had a family or something. But just like every time I cut to Jared Leto, I was like, oh, like it just felt like it was a black hole charisma for me. So I don't know, but I'll be there. I'm excited. Those visuals. I'm really hoping this one's not disappointing. I could be worried, but another one. This one I threw in more just for you. I wish Kirkland was here because I think he would have got kicked out of this too. But Red Sonja. What do you feel about? Did you ever see the original Red Sonja?
No, I didn't.
Okay, it's like a classic comic book character, not like Marvel, DC, but just like back in the, I don't know, 60s, 70s, 50s. He, God, what's Arnold played? Who's the big? Oh, Conan. So Conan the Barbarian, that sort of deal. Red Sonja is a part of that. So they did a Red Sonja movie, and Arnold was in that and stuff. So, what did you think about this? Because I feel like this was given some vibes that Taylor would have been loving in the early 2000s.
Oh, that's exactly what this movie just was preaching, just early 2000s vibes, action scenes. The only thing missing was like young Kate Beckinsale in here in one of these roles, 'cause I feel like she would have been just eating this role up.
They got the other girl from Underworld in here, though. Did you see that? That Rona Mitra? So remember the girl that, I can't remember, it's like, what's the prequel Underworld movie?
Rise of the Lycans?
Yeah, and they have that female lead in there who like looks similar to Kate Beckinsale, but not exactly. And I think they did that on purpose to trick people. But she was in there. She was fighting Red Sonja at one point.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna rush to theaters to see this, and if you guys are gonna like do a commentary track or a watch along, I'll tag along for that. I just don't know if I'm gonna get around to watching it myself.
That could be a good idea. Yeah, this trailer, effects wise, looking a little behind. And I, not to be mean, because I've looked at it, she seems like she's building a bit of a following in like the horror or like the like a smaller tier community. So good for her. It just was when they were trying to do like Melinda Lutz is, but so it's like, I don't know who that is. Like it was like a big actress, right? But I appreciated that. I feel like they felt like this was like, they've probably made a cheesy movie and they just leaned right into that with the trailer. Yeah. So I did want to see this. Yes. Very Scorpion King. My Super Mike says Red Sonja trailer is a tribute to early 2000 straight to DVD vibes. Oh, I agree. But this one at least looked like it was fun, where I know lots of people say about the Venom movies. I just don't have fun with those. So yeah, not the theaters, but yeah, maybe this would be a good movie night after night commentary track. So yeah, that could be something. But yeah, it was definitely a movie out of time, and we'll see what it does and what audiences gets. But finally here, we are going to talk about Mortal Kombat 2. Obviously, You can go back on our Patreon at certain tiers. We did commentary tracks for both the originals, for the movies, of course, and then we did review in COVID time Mortal Kombat, the first one, and now here we are. That was, I think, 2021. That first one came out. Is it? Let me see. Mortal.
I think it was 2021. Sounds about right.
Yeah, 2021. So it's been 4 years. So it's like a Batman, the Batman situation. But you got Carl Urban in here. It's Johnny Cage. What did you think of this trailer? Sequel's coming out in October.
Yeah, I had a good time with this. This seemed like it's not going to be perfect by any means, but just yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really, really fun time. I'm excited to see some familiar faces, obviously, and I don't know a lot about the Mortal Kombat world or a lot of backstory about these characters, but there's some in here that I really do appreciate, and it seems like they're going to make this much more in line with the games when it comes to like doing the moves and like the fighting, and even then we actually have them like, hey, Mortal Kombat is actually happening here, whereas the previous movie, gosh, there was no Mortal Kombat in there, no tournament.
They were fighting, but they were just getting together. Well, we hope that there's a tournament in this one. I don't actually care that much. Like, I get why people want the tournament. I think in a movie, a tournament doesn't work because then you have to kill off the characters and you can't bring them back in Mortal Kombat world. But yeah, there looks to be maybe a tournament here. But you're excited for this?
I am. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This will be a theater watch for sure. I think it's just going to be outrageous and zany. So
I think it will be. Yeah, no, I'll say my only negative with this is, man, some of the effects in here were not looking good. And this is not like Red Sonja. Where Red Sonja watching, okay, Millennium Productions is like, yeah, you're working with what you got. This is Warner Brothers. This is Mortal Kombat. That shot at the end where Scorpion like cuts the guy in half, that looks like early 2000s CGI. That doesn't look good. I can't remember. There's like the environments they're at. Like Johnny Cage is talking, I assume, to Sonya Blade, and they're outside. It looks like they're on an old green screen. There's another fight too where there's just stuff going on. But I will say that this looks like way more enjoyable than the first ones. The first one, I think they played it too serious. I think, I get what they're going for, but I think at first when we heard the rumblings of Johnny Cage being the main character, I thought, oh, that's an odd choice. Like, and even Carl Urban at first, like, oh, that's an odd choice. Like, it's been odd, but seeing this trailer, it's like, oh, it's kind of perfect. The fish out of water scenario. They did that a little bit the first one, right? But this perfect, like, just a movie star. I like the storyline that he's like an aging movie star. He's lost his way. You talked about it in the Discord, but I love the Mission Impossible ripoff, Citizen Cage, like all these fun little puns they're doing with Johnny Cage. And I think this just works as far as like having like a lovable douchebag thrown into the Mortal Kombat and just see how it goes. And usually stuff that wouldn't work for me, like when there's like a Baraka or whatever that species is, and he's like, I'm gonna cut you up, and he's just like, not the face, and then like he starts backflipping. Usually in trailers, like, that didn't work for me. That worked for me. I was like, you know what? And I do think that's why they got Carl Urban, because I don't think he's like who I would have thought of for Johnny Cage. But Carl Urban, one, is a good actor, and I think two, he'll make you invest in him. I don't know about everybody else, but just like little stuff like everyone looking very serious, like, oh, it's showtime. Like, I think this movie looks miles as far as being more fun. Is it going to be better? I don't know, but I do think it's going to be a good time. And I think this was the good route to go. Now we just got to see the movie and see if they delivered that way. But yeah, we'll find out. But yeah, that's in October. We'll definitely be reviewing that. And yeah, that's our newscast. Anything else, Taylor, before we get out of here?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. So yeah, like I said, we do have Dexter. Me and Kirkland will be reviewing that tomorrow. Sans Taylor. And then so now, yeah, everybody, the draft and the Superman rankings, they will be coming in July here. We just have to get together because some people are sick and some people aren't putting stuff in the calendar. But I digress. That's what happens here at GeekVerse. But thank you very much for tuning in. Next, I'm not sure. Weekly Geek was supposed to be me and Taylor on the Tuesday, but I might see if Kirkland and Dylan are feeling better, maybe this is a GV episode, but maybe we'll do the
put the boys in.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I meant maybe we'll do like
Yeah,
a 4-man
four.
cast then, because
Yeah.
we were supposed to do 4 tonight. So try to make up for that. So we'll see what's happened. It's busy time, but thank you to everybody in live chat. Thank you to everybody that's listening after the fact. Yeah, tune in this weekend. We got Dexter. We got me and the Gimmick Boys are doing our GM mode season. We'll have dynamic duels out. You got other stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. Promise you, when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.